Sunday afternoon, and welcome to all of my brothers and sisters and friends. I am actually enjoying a nice Americano with 4 espresso shots of dark coffee, 4 white shots of coffee, and a couple of scoops of white chocolate. It's a good coffee mix for me. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the people that are here now. We're going to give it a few minutes before everybody else catches up. And I'll tell you what, I let go of all of the things that I needed to let off my chest yesterday in my car, where I can freely curse and use my freedom of speech to put lip tarts in their place. Now, as a Christian guy, I guess I'm going to have to confess and ask for forgiveness every day just for putting lip tarts on their place. But it is the right thing to do. So I really don't have to feel bad about that. Unapologetical Christian, that means that I will not apologize for believing what I believe. Although I will apologize about other things. But an unapologetic American, unapologetic Christian. So some things I will apologize for, and some others I'm just not going to care. Good morning, my man. In the house, Jason Martin. Greetings and good afternoon to all patriots. He says, bueno, ¿qué pasa, Mufasa? All right, let's get started this. Sunday, chillaxing day. Now, for anybody that has a problem with me raising my voice or getting overexcited, they're not here. So it's all right. It's all good. We got the right people at the right place. Let me see if I can move this little Chinese-made arm bracket phone holder, whatever this thing is called. It's this little arm thing right here that I bought, and you can just it's kind of hard, but you can kind of move it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I don't like it because it kind of gets in my way, but I'm gonna go ahead and set it up because I will take some calls. I shouldn't, but I will take some calls. All right. I'm telling you, man. You know what? My wife is attending a morning session. One of our dear friends / family members has passed, and so she's paying her respects. And when the funeral date comes, I'm gonna go with her, and we're gonna do our part to help out the family left behind. So not that you're asking, but my wife and I pledged $1,000 to help out the family with the funeral. And it's not much, but, we got to do our part, and we got to help in any way that we can. With that being said, man, I got some clips that I can't wait to get into. Now, I haven't watched them myself. I know I say this all the time, but I haven't watched them myself. I just got like a little glance of the title, etc. So let me see. I think this is probably too bright on my hat. Let's go that one more time right there. Even though it makes my face a little bit more darker. Hey, you know what? Maybe I look more Hispanic. For those leftist people that like to come in here and tell me that ICE is coming for me. I got plenty of ice right here. Oh yeah. There's nothing better than tasting nice dark coffee in a mountain of flavor with a little bit of white chocolate in it. And just so you know, white coffee is very good for you. But it tastes like shit. So I got to put some dark coffee on there just for flavor. Let me see who else we got in here. Do we got enough people in here to watch these videos? Well, even if we don't, we're going to watch them anyway. If you are entertained, if you like what we say on this show, if you agree with us, if you are interested, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you haven't become a member, become a member. Everybody is treated the same. Membership really to me just means that you are willing to support me on a monthly basis and kind of takes that responsibility from your super chats a little bit. You guys do get some extra emojis that I put a little bit of extra love and care on. If you have any suggestions as a member, if you have any suggestions on emojis, let me know. The more members I get, the more emojis I can give you guys options of. And I can make more just so that you can have fun on the chat. Listen, just because we're adults, it doesn't mean that we can't have fun, okay? We can always have fun, and that is the goal, to have fun. Let's see. Lester Martinez 1 says, Saul, take a day off, man, says Cray Miss. You know what? I will tell you this. I do have this little pain on my neck, and I think it's just because I'm getting old, and arthritis is catching up. But, man, it's been bugging me for the last 3 days. Pain on the neck. And I don't know. I can't pop it. There's nothing I can do. It's just sore. So I just got to take some anti-inflammatory cream. I had some, and I just can't find it. So that's the pain. Life pains. Life pains. Good afternoon, Brian. What's up? Man, it's so good to be here. Good to be here. Listen, I can play my video game, or I can come over here and have some fun with you people who I consider my friends and family. Some of you guys are more personal at many different levels than others, so that's why I say friends and family. All right. With that being said, why don't we get? Why don't we take? Hey, let me give you this news first. I'm so excited about this. Besides the title, Melania. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna tell you something. I hate chick flicks, but I'm gonna tell you this movie / documentary from Melania. It had me, I kid you not, in tears. It is phenomenal. It is just released on Amazon because I just saw it last night. It said new release on Prime, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch it. Let me see what's going on because I watched the Michelle Obama, Michael. You know, everybody knows Michael, but Michelle Obama, you know, the black first lady that hates white people, and it's such a different sort of level of awesomeness. Like, I kid you not. I'm telling you right now, if you have not watched Melania, you gotta watch it. Listen, every time that I want to watch a movie, every time my wife tells me, let's watch a movie, hon, she never, ever, ever, ever sticks around for the whole movie, or she doesn't even pay attention. Let me tell you what happened last night, and I'm so excited. I was teary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was crying. I was so proud. There was so many things, like how can people just not understand what's going on? And I'm telling you, I as a very strong man and a very macho guy that I believe that I am. Man, Melania was phenomenal. Listen, as a photographer / videographer, I love the cutscenes. I love the B-roll, the music that was in there. Let me tell you something that has been lost. I believe it has been lost in American government. I'm very old school. I was not here 200 years ago, obviously. I was not here 100 years ago. I'm only been here for a half a century. But I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want to spoil the video for you, the movie for you. But I'm going to tell you something. The classical music, even, you're going to love this, even some of the speeches of President Trump has been Melania behind it. And that's why they're so awesome. It shows how hard President Trump works on behind. They don't show President Trump much, but it shows you the level of classiness, if I can say it that way, about the American way. It's something I'm telling you. There's not enough good things that I can say about the film. My wife cuddled with me the whole time. My arm fell asleep. She loved it. My wife loved Melania. And she said, put the next one on. I said, baby, it's just one movie. She's like, oh, that's it? She's like, oh my God, but I love this so much. I was like, I know. It's fantastic. I said, I'm going to be here crying of joy of how people have been so unfair with her and the whole family. People have been judging them or being racist. Oh, the poor Melania. You guys have no class if you say those things. I'm telling you right now, if you have Prime, go watch Melania. It will blow you away. I don't recommend movies that much. Melania will blow you away. And I'm just saying, listen, put yourself a humble heart and just watch. And take all the negativity away that you've heard. Take all of that stuff away and judge just by who they really are. And you are going to be amazed. I kid you not. I cannot recommend this enough. It is just wow. You know, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I get in trouble for it. I don't even know if I can actually share any parts of it on the Prime. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can. Not that I'm going to play the whole movie. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Okay, but let me see. Man, I'm telling you, it's just. I wish that I could have. Right now it's not. Right now it's free with Prime. Yeah, it is free with Prime. All right, I just got to sign in, I guess. All right, hold on. Let me sign in and see if I can get this baby to play at least just a part of it, okay? Let me see if it lets me. Man, I'm telling you, it's just, I was blown away. I really was. And you know, this whole thing about everybody that they have in there, you know, they got all mixed. They got the black people, they got the gays, they got the Asians, they got all these other people in there. There's so many people that they help. And you know what? They're all happy. Not one of them complains about it. Normally, you know, people complain about their, you know, who their boss is and all this other stuff. But man, it is just, you should be proud to have her as the first lady. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She brought back, man, where the hell is she? There it go. She brought back everything that I believe to be the American spirit. And many people can just say, oh, you know, in the movies, this and that. You can go and judge it by racist movies and Hollywood acting, etc. You know, or whatever. But no, I wanted to play just, for example, just the preview, like the little trailer that they have. Let me see if I can search it because I had it there. Let's see. No, not you. You're not Melania. You. Let's check out the trailer. How's that? Yeah, I think, let me see if it shows it. Yeah, it looks like, let's watch the trailer.
Here we go again.
You can come in. Don't worry. Our proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker under the fire. Beautiful. Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Is it safe?
It is safe.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I'm telling you right now, it is phenomenal. I am not even making this up. I don't know. Maybe because I do have such a proud. I don't know. Gratefulness, is that a word that I can use to describe it? I am so thankful to be an American citizen. And I read so many times on my shorts and my videos comments from ignorant people, sell out in English and Spanish. You guys already know coconut, trader, and all. I'm telling you, I recommend it. If you don't have Prime, if you want to buy this movie, I'm telling you, you want to do that. It has class. It has sadness. It has proud moments. It has this whole vanity about style, etc. It's just well pieced together, and of course, one of her favorite singers is Michael Jackson. Some might judge her for that, but one of the inspirations for the slogan for my campaign is one of the songs from Michael Jackson. And who knows? Maybe I'll get enough money, and I will how would you say? I will get rights to the song that I want to play. But that's for the future. If that's something that's going to happen, you guys will be the first ones to know. Man, Melania is just gorgeous. She is gorgeous, class. You know what's crazy is that my wife was telling me, and my wife is not political. She doesn't like to be involved with that. But my wife was telling me, she's such a different from Michelle Obama. Like Michelle Obama looks so ghetto, and even after she, my wife has a good heart. She is a sweetheart, but she noticed the difference. She noticed the difference, and I'm going to tell you something. People will hate her, but everybody loves her. All the Hispanic workers that they have, the white, the European, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Laos, the Thailand, all of the workers that they have in there, the white people, if you want to mention some of them, every single person in there just loves Melania. And I think that from the history that President Trump has, and you have to remember, all these bankruptcies and all these mishaps and mistakes that he has made, and the issues with adultery and, the mess ups, the first term with the whole thing with the leftist media and the Democrats trying to destroy their marriage by bringing up the Stormy Daniel thing and all this other stuff. They were mad at each other, and they didn't say it, but I can tell on their faces, that President Trump was in trouble with Melania. And I find that is in this documentary, she says something in there that I feel was kind of explaining herself on what her role is as the first lady. And I'm going to tell you, again, if you have not watched Melania, you got to watch it. You just got to watch it. All right. We'll leave it there. First, great news on this Sunday afternoon. On a Sunday afternoon. Here we go. Christine Noem. Everybody says, she got fired. She messed up. She got fired. Guess where Christine Noem is right now? You ready? Drum roll. She is in Honduras. You know what the Honduran government is saying right now, and the news in Honduras? I'm going to translate this. Goodbye, narcotraffics. The Secretary of National Security of the United States of America, that might be different, comes to Honduras to reinforce the fight against crime. Christy, why didn't you tell me? I would have gone with you. I would have been protecting you. I got the right to carry here and in Honduras. I could have been with you. Oh, man, I would have loved the chance to translate for you, Christy. Oh, man, Christine is so awesome. So with that being said, I am so proud. Let's see. What in the hell about Michelle says ghetto other than her skin? Whoa! Proud FBA. That is some racist shit you said right there, my friend. That is some racist thing you said right there. It's very interesting that you said the skin color. All I said was Michelle Obama was ghetto, and you associated ghetto with black. Oh my god, that's racist, bro. None of that in here, okay? You see the difference, guys? You see the difference between us and the liberal demo libtards? I don't know what. I got to pick up a good name for these guys. I got to come up with a good name for these guys. That is crazy. She is so educated. She has the manners. Something these guys will. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. White children are just the same as poor children. The racist mentality just doesn't leave the Democratic Party, does it? You get a black woman sitting in office, appointed, her husband is the president and her is the first lady. And the only thing that she can say is how hateful white people are. Yeah, they're so hateful they put your black ass in the office. You know what? To each his own. You guys keep lying about yourself, but proud FBA, that was one racist comment that you made. You better apologize to Michelle Obama, no matter how ghetto she is. You can take the black men out of the ghetto, but the ghetto out of the black men. Apparently, according to Proud FBA, you cannot. Oh man. Anywho, fantastic Melania, opposite. No, it's not because she's white. It's just she is beautiful in every characteristic that she has. You make a list of Michelle Obama and Melania, everything that has to do with women class, Melania checks. Michelle, she acts more like a man. I'm not saying anything, no pun intended. Anyway, Christine Nome is in Honduras with our president, the guy that President Trump endorsed. I am so excited about Honduras, man. I am so excited. Guys, listen. I am so excited because so many things are proving libtards wrong. They're talking about this war in Iran that we're fighting against, okay? We don't want to go to war. We don't want a third world war, World War III. But they're saying all this negative stuff and blah, 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 whatever. You know what? Look at the national average on gas, number one. Democrat states have the highest gas prices. I wonder why. No, I don't wonder. That is rhetorical. You know, they say that Venezuela was going to be a war forever. Well, we're done. It's finished. Now we're just working the Democratic part of it, but we're done. Iran was going to be, oh my God, it's going to be forever. 3 weeks in. Done. We annihilated their Air Force, their military, most likely. It's finished. It's all a matter of securing the area now. Now, we still got some bombing to do because we said we're going to bomb the shit out of them, and I got to see it. I haven't seen enough bombing yet. So they said this war is going to be forever. Okay. And then they said, oh, my God, gas prices, the economy. We're going to lose the economy. Well, the economy is bouncing back already, little by little. Oh, man, I'm telling you, they go so hardcore on us. But you know what? The higher they go, the harder they fall. I'm just so excited to be on the right side of history. I'll tell you that right now. Now, listen, if you go to any leftist podcast, you will hear a lot of negativity against Trump, the administration, and even us. They call us evil. They call us racist. They call us Nazis. They call us all these things that they are. And that's okay. That's okay because we know we're not. We know we're not. I get these beautiful comments of sellout in Spanish and English, like I said, on my shorts, on my videos. And you know what? I just don't give a shit. I just don't. I don't care. It's like, I know I'm standing for the right country, the United States of America. I know I'm standing for the good things of the law. There's nothing wrong with the law because the law brings order. The law keeps me in check so that I don't become a nuisance to you. You understand? The law keeps me in check so that I don't commit crimes against you. Not that I would, but that's what the law is for. And so when somebody gets pulled over by a police officer and they say, you work for me. No, bitch. They work for the people. And right now, you are the problem to the people. You understand? So no, they don't work for you. They work for us. And if we step out of line, we should hear about it, shouldn't we? Anywho, so there we go. Now, I can't, this is in Spanish, so.
Estamos trabajando para servirle a Honduras, pagarlas.
All right, I'm going to translate just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit of what he's saying. And let's see what he says. I'll do my best to translate as he talks. Let me turn the volume down a little bit.
60 millones de lempiras
60 million lempiras
poniendo de sus impuestos
that the taxpayers are putting for the economy every week. We hope that the Middle East situation, that work is finished as soon as possible, because we all want peace and tranquility and prosperity. Our reserves of 27th of January till this 20th Friday have gone up from 6.2 months to 6.6 months. Our reserve indicates that on January 27th, 20th of March, we have $580 million more in our reserves. Man, we are strengthened every day. There's a lot of things we still have resolved. We're giving honor to pay the debt that we have acquired. As a state, as a president of the republic, I have the duty to honor all the debts, as I said just not long ago, to support and complete, to be able to pay them off. We're working to serve Honduras on this Holy Week. We continue to advance on March 28th. We're going to stop all of this so that the Holy Week, we don't have a problem for the circulation of every civilian that goes out to visit their family, and to take those days off with the whole responsibility of family, religious, so that we can have a Honduras much more stronger, that we create every day on everything that we do today, our Honduran people, because we do it and we do it well, and we do it with love. Don't doubt, we have a team to work to solve our problems from Honduras. And so we all make this the effort. The ministers will give a press conference tomorrow of all the decisions that we're making for the subject of this gas increases. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a happy Sunday. So, Christine Noam is in Honduras, and I am so happy. I really am, because you don't understand. It makes me happy to hear this news about Honduras, because, I supported the opposite guy of what President Trump, I supported the opposite guy because I was told, that he was bad, and then I did my research, and I was supporting the other guy. I did my research, and I started digging in, and you know what? There was a lot of leads that were saying that the other guy was connected to communists from Venezuela with Nicolas Maduro, and you know what? Trump was right, and I was wrong. So, we have to admit when we are wrong, and I'm just glad that my president is right on everything that he has been doing. So I'm happy, I'm excited. Christine Noam in Honduras trying to figure out how to stop cartels in Honduras. In every other country, that is the 18 countries that they have this alliance against the cartels, It's a good thing, Americans. It's a good thing. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. We need the support of all Americans to support this cause. Those who have connections with the cartel, those who are corrupted, those who like to commit fraud, those to cover fraud, those to hide the fraud, those people will be against us every step of the way. But let me be clear. We have a great president, a great administration. Do we make mistakes? Yes. So what? As long as we learn from that mistake, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So I'm very excited. Now, that's just the beginning of the good news. Now let's go ahead and get to the okay sort of news, which is still to me good news. Now, before I play this is going to be, Elon Musk offers to pay. We covered this already, right? But Elon Musk offers to pay for TSA. Now, I want you to say this. If you worship the Democratic Party, you know what? To each his own. Everybody has their own poison. But I'm going to tell you something. Everything that is happening, even this whole tax the rich, blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. Let me give you one example of somebody who said in New York, the governor. What's her name? Kochel. What's her name? Somebody put it on the chat. Tanya, good afternoon. Yes, sis. You know what, sis? It's so good to see you. You know what? Yesterday I was cussing these leftards left and right, but in the back of my mind, honestly, I had you in the back of my mind, and I actually felt kind of bad for cussing out people, and I know, my big brother Brian, he says that's righteous anger and all this stuff, but I know that Tanya and many other people out there, you guys have a very, very good heart. And maybe I felt like maybe I was insulting you by saying those words while you're in my chat, watching my live. So, if it did, I apologize to you, and those like you who have a better mouth than I do. But I really felt like these idiots deserved it. I hate people trying to lie about my character and lie about the things that I know are not true. But with that being said, yes, this is all good news. Now, let me ask you something. So, thank you, Hutchell. Happy Mac, appreciate you. So Governor Hutchell, remember when she said if the rich people if the billionaires don't want to pay the tax, if they're not willing to help, get the hell out of here. Go down to Florida. Let's see how you like it over there. You know what she's saying now? Oh, my God, we need you guys back. We need your money. Come back to New York. That's right. That's right. It's what happens when you're a libtard, you're a socialist Democrat, and you think that being a socialist pays the bills. I already said this so many times. I already said it. The new socialism, it's an evolution that is founded and based on Marxism. And now the new Democratic Party is a Marxist communist socialist. And what's crazy is this. The way that I look at it is this. From Marxism, we get the non-belief in God. First, reject God. Second, become socialist. Socialist has the good, kind-hearted of a good Samaritan. Let's help those in need, and let's spread out the wealth among everybody according to their need. And then, boom, it turns into communism. What does communism do? Well, they don't make money. They take money. And then when they start losing all those piggy banks that go out of their states or whatever, now the people that are left behind have to pick up the bill. That's just how it works. And the perfect example of a communist was this one libtard who was making the argument that, these rich companies that are leaving, let them leave, he says. He says, let them leave. We will take over their companies. Such a communist mindset. We will take over their companies and we will do the work because we need the jobs, he says. Look at the logic. And then he says, and now they're trying to leave. Well, we're going to go ahead and stick them with taxes and fees and all this other stuff so that they can't leave because they can't just abandon us. They need to give us their money. Wait a minute. What? You know what? Communism is a horrible thing. Roberto, I'm sorry. If you're in the Democratic Party, all of you guys are supporting thieves. You might believe that Trump is the bad guy. but you are dead wrong. I guarantee you, you are dead wrong. Go watch Melania. Maybe, just maybe, if you have any ounce of human in your body, any ounce of goodness in your body, any ounce of common sense in your body, after watching that movie Melania, you will vote for Republicans on the midterms. 100%, I guarantee it. But again, you got to have at least 1 ounce of common sense, humanity, and care for the people. With that being said, let's take a listen and see this report from Fox and Friends. That's right, Fox, my favorite news channel. And don't you forget it.
Spring break is here, and flyers are bracing for long security lines as the partial DHS shutdown drags into another busy travel weekend. Thousands of TSA officers are calling out of work, and it's expected to cost airlines millions of dollars a day, with this one heading in the same direction. Here to talk more about the high price of this shutdown is Taylor Riggs, co-host of The Big Money Show, a great show. Sometimes I get to sit in with you. And Taylor, nobody better to address. So let's talk about the economic impact of this.
Yeah, so for now, not a whole lot, because as you can see with the line so long, there's still a lot of demand there. Now, the longer this goes on, the more of the economic impact. I'm not thinking about just me being inconvenienced, but what about all the people who are going without paychecks? They still have to pay rent. They have to pay their bills. So I'm...
Quiet, woman. All the Democrats are going to pay their salary, right, guys? All of you poor, dumbass mofos, you're going to pay their bill, right? You're going to pay for TSA because all the rich people are capitalists. All the Democrats, rich people, make them pay for it. Yeah, you socialists, the broke mofos, why don't you go pay for TSA? We will continue to support rich people, billionaires, millionaires, because when we need them, they will pay their fair share, which they already are. They pay over 70% of the taxes in this country. You libtards don't pay jack squat. Most of you get more refund than you ever pay in taxes. You are negative paying taxes. Matter of fact, that's what that means. You don't pay taxes. You take taxes from other people who are actually bringing income into our states, into our country. That's the libtards in a nutshell.
Worried about their ability to make payments. And then, of course, when people at home start to think about spring break, Easter's in 2 weeks, looking at these long lines, are there going to be people like us who
Hey, don't hate me because I'm right.
Say, okay, you know what, with young kids, maybe I won't travel, I'll cancel my flights, I'll pull back. If you get enough people who do that, then that's a real economic impact of people pulling back and saying, I'm not going to travel, I'm canceling plans.
Jared says, I never worked for a poor person. That should tell you something. Well, again, you got to have an ounce of common sense. But Jared, good point.
Together.
You know, you raise a good point, because it's not just spring break. With Easter coming, now decisions have to be made, as the Senate doesn't appear to be any closer to breaking this logjam.
You know what's interesting is there's a group of airports, San Francisco International is one of them, who's involved in the SPP. Basically, it's falls under TSA in terms of those private contractors have to have the same standards, but it's sort of a public-private partnership. It's close to privatizing TSA that we haven't had in a while. My call is, let's privatize TSA. This is ridiculous, the fact that all of this can go unfunded and be held up by Democrats who don't want to get on board and fund DHS. So we've done analysis of you could do that. You could try to privatize. I mean, that's not a short-term solution. That's going to have to be a multi-year debate in Congress to figure that out. But people who are signed up for Clear, even PreCheck, I've looked at lines at San Francisco Airport. They're moving because they've gone with private contractors and not relying solely on the government.
Okay, so you brought up the privatizing. We just, in the last headlines here minutes ago, we learned that Elon Musk is now offering, putting on the table, that he will pay the salaries of TSA employees. You can see it here. He says, I would like to offer to pay the salaries of TSA personnel during this funding impasse that is negatively affecting the lives of so many Americans at airports throughout the country. I got to tell you, Taylor, good on you, Elon Musk.
Yes.
If you have the wherewithal and means to do it, Because these TSA agents, these men and women,
Yes.
are real humans. And a lot of them aren't calling out sick or quitting because they're angry. It's because they've got to make ends meet and they've got to rush out and find a job where they're going to get a paycheck.
We've done so many statistics that right now you have, a quarter of households living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine if you're a TSA agent and you have families to feed and you're not getting paid and you're not able to put food on the table. You are having to call out to maybe work a second job. I love Elon Musk. He throws things out there. I'm not sure it would really stick. The funding does have to come from the government, but I love that he is pushing calls to get out there. The only other thing I will say is we heard from Delta a few weeks ago. They have said demand is through the roof. They said 8 out of their top 10 booking days have come in March alone, 5 of those being in the first week that the war in Iran started. So that's sort of a separate issue, but Delta is seeing demand across all different cabin types. So for now, it looks like demand is not going anywhere, which means for now, lines might stay long if you're, unfortunately, that TSA agent.
But just a final point, and that is we were just showing the call-out rates at airports across the country in places like Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta Airport, or in Houston down there. 4 out of 10 are calling out. And so how long do flyers really want to be in those crazy lines we've seen?
If you have young kids, you're not willing to wait in line for a couple hours. So if they start calling out, we'll see the real impact on the economy if you start to see big cancellations. But for now, I'm hoping that within the next week or two, we can solve this issue. This is, in my opinion, unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, I think, to all of America, a message Washington should heed.
Yep.
This weekend as the Senate's working. Taylor Riggs, co-host of the Big Money Show, thanks for being here.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I want to see a poor man go pay the salaries of the TSA employees. Man, Jason Martin, thank you for the super chat, brother. You are absolutely right. After reading the same tolerant and loving messages from the libtards every day, I am convinced now that they majored in CNN and minored in MSDNC in college, giving them a libtard diploma because they never learn any lessons in life. They need to go back to the Learning Center and think about what they didn't learn. Man, you know what? These people, let me tell you something. Prove to me that I'm wrong. Prove to me how poor people, socialists, have done more for people with their own money, not the capitalist money. Take away all the capitalist money and tell me what have socialists, communists, Marxists, Democrats done to make this country better. All I see from democratic cities and states, it's businesses leaving the states because the Democrats have become so cocky, have been able to commit fraud and get away with it for so long, that even when the truth comes out, the libtards just don't want to see past their noses. But we don't do that. See, we're not loyal to a person. We love President Trump, absolutely. I love Melania and the family, and oh my gosh, I want them to become trillionaires. I want them to be prosperous beyond belief. But that doesn't mean that they're going to get the right in heaven. It's up to them how they want to live their life, but it's up to Jesus Christ if they're going to be saved. And that's also the choice that the Trumps got to make, not me. My job, my conscience tell me that I don't want to be envious. I don't want to be greedy. Do I want nice things in life? Absolutely. Of course I do. Guys, don't get me wrong. Would I want... Hey, Jason, Beatrice, how are you, man? Do you think I don't want a nice big house where I can have a big room and make my own studio and all this other stuff? You think I don't want to live in downtown? Well, I don't want to have my studio in the downtown on the highest floor of the biggest, tallest building here in Seattle? Of course. It's nice. Why not? It's fantastic. But you know what? But I can't. So I don't. That doesn't mean that I hate the guy that does have it and is up there and is having this beautiful view, you know, almost a 360 view. That's not my job. It's not my job. I just want to have a happy family. I just want to continue to have a wife that loves me, that puts up with all my imperfections, a wife that supports me, that makes me a better man each day. That's what I want. Family is the number one thing I want in my life. In this earth, obviously God is always above everything. But family is the number one thing I want in this life. I want to be able to have food for them to eat. I want them to have an education so they have a chance to fight in this world. But that's it. I don't need to be a millionaire. If you want to be a millionaire, hey, by all means, go for it. Let me tell you, the one negative thing that I will tell you about this is when I watch Melania go into her bedroom, right? They don't show everything, but she goes into her bedroom and she's taking something out of her closet. Their house is too big. It's too big for me. I don't want it. I'm just, how can I say it? Like, you know, I look at Mar-a-Lago because, oh my God, they got some beautiful takes. And it looks so beautiful, but the house to live in, I don't want that. Do I want a golf course? Man, absolutely. It's fantastic. But you know what? I'd rather go to different golf courses. I'd rather have just a good enough, you know, not a little house. I want a big house. But if I can't get it, I'm not going to be making myself miserable. I'm not going to make myself miserable because other people don't agree with me. I don't care. Melania is a star. I'm not going to lie, man. I was crying a lot of parts in that movie. I was crying because there is a lot of family. Man, it's just fantastic. All right, I'm not going to continue to talk about the movie. It is phenomenal. But nobody on the Liptar side can ever prove to me that I am lying. I know that I'm right. I know that I'm right. Not only in my heart, not only emotionally, but common sense. A selfless love will see good in other people. If I'm going to tell you this, if I see evil on President Trump, I should see evil on every single liberal that comes through my chat by your comments, by your word, by your behavior. I am telling you right now, I should be hateful towards. And we're not. I clown you, but that's it. It's called Melania, güero. Definitely not rated X. Pendejo. Don't be an idiot. It's actually rated G. It's rated G. It is absolutely clean. It is absolutely American. It is absolutely everything that I want for the United States of America. Absolutely. When it comes to luxury, when it comes to the way she carries herself, the way she treats her staff, the way they celebrate, the luxury and the celebrations of the White House, you know, like the libtards, like, you know, people that hate Trump and Melania and the family, etc. You know, we are at war. Why is he celebrating without? Shut up. Really, will you? What do you want? You want us to cower in and tell our enemies that we don't trust our soldiers? That we're not willing to make the sacrifice for a better world? You want us to cower in like the leftists? We don't do that. There can be bombs dropping in. I'm celebrating my birthday. So what? Some of us, we want to party when we die. We don't want people mourning. Everybody needs mourning. I want to party. I want to party. I want some live music. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say I left some happiness behind. Not just sorrow, not just pain, not just unfinished issues. I want people to laugh and cry and enjoy themselves, eat, drink. By all means, have a party. Have a party. See, that's the difference between us. We celebrate not death, but the new life in Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Whoo! Hot. It's too hot. It's too hot to handle. I'll try to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to try to bring it down a little bit for all of our leftist Americans that have not come to their senses yet. Now, somebody was clowning on my cross, which, by the way, if you do have a cross, listen, if you're a Catholic, I am sorry to tell you, okay? Do not put an idol or a Christ on your cross, because you're telling the devil that Jesus Christ is dead. But when you have the symbolical cross, let there not be Christ on it, because he's not dead. He's rose from the dead. All right? That's just my advice to Catholics, because I know you guys have the crucifix or whatever. And the ones that show no Christ in it, I agree with. But just a little tip for you guys. With that being said, let's get on to our next move. Let's see. Maybe for the next month. Okay. This one says, oh man, we're gonna leave this one for the next one. Let me see what's my next story that I want to share. Okay, that might be it. Yeah. We're gonna go here. All right, here you go. For all of you leftists that don't like perverts, pedophiles, and all that stuff, there will be a spot in here where I will mute the sound, but the point stands. Here we go. Check this out.
While the Senate debates protecting our elections, let's dig into who is up for those elections. Some of those Democratic candidates are, well, odd, to say the least. In Texas, Democrats are calling singer Bobby Pulido a star, despite a long history of social media posts.
Is that Cassie? Cassie, is that how you fish women? I don't know if it's Cassie, but Cassie, absolutely. I love that. The Lord says to mourn the coming in life and celebrate the going out. Man, that's better than what I said, I think. Thank you, Cassie. That's actually a good comment. I don't know if you're on my side or not. It doesn't matter. Your comment stands, and I appreciate it. Let me get rid of this of the closed caption on this one. All right. Let me start over so we don't miss it.
Up for those elections. Some of those Democratic candidates are, well, odd, to say the least. In Texas, Democrats are calling singer Bobby Pulido a star, despite a long history of social media posts disparaging women and even sharing porn. And now his bizarre music video where he plays a pervert has come to light. It's as bad as you think. Then over in California, the man running to replace Nancy Pelosi has a unique way to solve the housing crisis. It involves stuffed animals.
Wanna be on?
Well, is it any better on the Senate side? Democrats may be looking for a change there. The Wall Street Journal reports Democrats are frustrated, tired of Chuck Schumer, and maybe looking to elect a new leader of the party. And if Schumer is expecting support from the party's latest batch of Senate candidates, well, he could be mistaken.
You think our leadership needs to look like if you were elected to the United States Senate?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've made it clear that I would not support Chuck Schumer as leader of the Democratic caucus, because I think right now what I'm hearing from voters all across the state of Illinois is that they are fed up.
Trouble in the waters for Chuck. Joining me now, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Kevin, I want to talk for a moment about candidate recruitment. You know a lot about that as the former House Speaker. This Pulido individual that Democrats have recruited, in 2013, he told viewers to visit pornographic website YouPorn if bored, and reposted links to porn sites featuring the music of fellow musicians. Goes on to say later the same year, this is our Fox reporting, he posted a link to X videos with the caption, "Homemade porn while sleep deprived."
What?
Why would Democrats recruit this guy?
Because
It's
the
very
Democrats.
sad. And, you know, there's a fabric that weaves through a lot of these candidates. Why would you want to highlight something like this? And to understand this district, this is the 15th district in Texas. This is the Rio Grande Valley. This is San Antonio down to the U.S.-Mexican border, 81% Hispanic, a very religious district. This is out of touch. These are perverted activities. And if you watch that video even further, you probably couldn't show it on the air, the things, perverted things he was doing. And this is who they want to showcase when you have a congresswoman currently elected, Monica de la Cruz, small business owner. She elected in 22. I helped recruit her and get her elected. She represents this district well. This is not a place to win a majority if these are the people you're highlighting and providing $1 million to. I think the Democratic leadership should actually pull him back and denounce him.
Yeah, they should. But we won't hold our breath because we have not seen them do that in other cases. I want to play a moment from this press conference we just covered with Senate Majority Leader John Thune. This was the newsy bit. We clipped it. Watch this.
Why, considering the pressure of the president and the right, why would you eventually move to end debate on this if this is so important, especially to the president?
Yeah, well, we haven't made any final decisions about how to conclude this.
You won't file cloture at some
Well, at some point, that's a possibility.
You know, Kevin, as you listen to that, he's saying that, you know, he's not sure how this will conclude. What do you think should happen with the Save America Act?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate him and the Republican leadership. And this is where Republicans have to understand. Republicans are for this, but Democrats are for this too, just not those elected in Washington, by an overwhelming support, 70, 80%. What I liked listening to the leader there was putting up individual votes. If Schumer says he's for voter ID, then let's put a bill up that just says voter ID. And I hope Chad asks Schumer the question, if you say you're for something, will you vote for it? Let's put the pressure on the Democrats. I find Republicans fighting among ourselves. This is where we have a uniting force of Americans across this country overwhelmingly support this. Let's put the pressure on those who are not voting for it in the Senate. And to hold the Senate on a weekend, that is a major ordeal. So I credit them with that. And to say, we haven't decided how we're going to end this. Put the pressure and put the votes up, the transgender vote, the voter ID, and let the American public see it. And then let's do a little what Ronald Reagan would do. Let's tell those who are voting against it, let's let those voters in there start calling those offices and saying that is not what we support.
There. And on a Saturday, we will see if they work through the recess. Thank you so much, Kevin McCarthy.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest.
Subscribe to all the Fox News latest news and articles. Well. It just doesn't get any better for the Democrats.
CBS News moderator Margaret Brennan is under fire after critics accused her of mocking Secretary of War Pete Hegseth for saying a prayer for U.S. service members. Here are the Secretary's remarks from yesterday.
Of course.
May Almighty God continue to bless our troops in this fight. And again, to the American people, please pray for them. Every day, on bended knee, with your family, in your schools, in your churches, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
To the troops, keep going. And Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Amen. But Brennan's response to that was this. The Secretary of Defense tells the American public to pray for our troops on bended knee and invoke Jesus' name. Well, that social media post did not go unnoticed. Many are calling her out for the tone-deaf attack on prayer, including Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, arguing only in D.C. is something like this considered even remotely offensive. One critic in particular noting that former President FDR did the exact same thing during World War II.
Oh, Lord, give us faith.
You know what he should have done? He should have done at the end, he should have said, Allahu Akbar. I'm sure Democrats would have loved that. A bunch of retards, man. It is very clear, guys. It is very clear the fight that we have. We have to fight against fake religion. We have to fight against atheists. We have to fight against libtards. We got to fight against Democrats who have been lied to for so long. They don't know what's up and what's down. We have to fight against all this common sense having people. I just don't know where to start. You know, they might have some rights to their opinions about this and that and judging this and that. But you know, at the end of the day, it is very plain and simple. They put illegals over American citizens. That's number one. The easiest thing to notice about Democrats. They lie to the people saying that illegal immigrants don't get any type of medical benefits at all. And then they go on television saying that everybody, undocumented, they don't call them illegals, undocumented, everybody should have free health care, which the American taxpayers pay for their American citizens. And then number three, you have Democrats who lie to you about a bill that is passing through for this Save the Act, and they lie to you about the benefit and saying that Republicans are voting against. But what they really want to do is they want to defund our National Security Department, and they want to put a stop to ICE, who is actually there to enforce illegal immigration, to give us some petty money for just one department. But we don't want that. We don't want that. I will say this, and I posted this on Senator Murray's X account, and I told her, I said, you have lost your damn mind. You have been in power for too long. Your mind has become corrupted and fragile. You do not think the way you did 10 years ago. You should step down and let somebody with common sense step in. I don't have any hairs on my tongue, as they say, meaning that I'm going to say it as I see it. And I'm going to call it the way I know it. And listen, everything they fight us on, okay? We had the biggest example, a guy that I have been chatting back and forth. I'm so disappointed on this guy. You guys know who it is. He doesn't care about Western civilization. He'd rather have Islam take over the United States of America. Just listen to this. He has become a Democrat. Why is it that Democrats support Islam? Why is it that Democrats don't care that these radical Muslims are trying to pass Sharia law here? Why is it that Democrats don't care about looking into fraud? Not just from Somalis, but there is Russians, there is Chinese, there is Asians. There's all kinds of different people committing fraud, and they figure out a way to break it. They found that the Democratic policies, the NGOs can abuse the money of the American taxpayer dollar. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason why the leftists don't like me is because I am every single card that they cannot call on me. They can't call the minority card. They can't call the migrant card. They can't call the slavery card. They can't call the native card. They can't do shit of any victim card when it comes to me, because I cover every single one of them. And I cannot be bought. They hate that. With that being said, that is one of the reasons why they come on my chat, not because they support us, not because they support me, not because they care about the policies that protects the American people or is the benefit of the American people, but because I can't be a victim. They want me to be a victim. They don't got nothing. They don't got no native heritage against me. They don't have no slavery against me. They don't have no minority, no black, nothing, no migrant, nothing. No high-class money status. I have been a hardworking taxpayer for all of my life. They got nothing on me. Nothing. And that's why they hate me. Most people say, oh, well, you're not rich, so you can... Well, what? I'm sorry. Well, you're not poor. You don't know what... Oh, what? Transgenders. I know that there is a mental health problem in our country and around the world. We don't run away from it. We got to address it head on. That was this big dude, like this big, at the store. Dressed like a woman, makeup and everything. I said, how you doing, sir? He gave me a look. I just want to see what happened. Well, he was one of those that doesn't talk too much shit, so he didn't say nothing. if you're a man and you want to pretend to be a woman, by all means, do whatever the hell, tickles your ears. But don't try to play me for a fool. Don't think that I'm stupid enough to think that you're a woman. Please. We'll check the hardware. It's crazy. You go to the doctor and you can say you're a woman and you get back with the news that you got testicle cancer. That's a wonderful woman if you ask me. Anywho, 2 genders. Sexual preferences, whatever. Male and female. XX, XY. Very simple. Not confusing. And the reason why we do that is as humans, of course, we are all the same. But as a gender, as a male or a female, we differentiate that because we know that the males are a lot stronger than the females when it comes to physical, most likely. There is a lower percentage of women that are stronger than a lot of men. And my daughter is one of them. My wife is one of them. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's a lot of women out there that are stronger than a lot of men out there. All right? But that's what I'm saying. Nobody can control me because I hate being controlled. My opinion is my own. As a matter of fact, I have given on my show, I have given you information that has not even been shared on Fox or CNN. And later, they come out and play it. I came out and I gave you an example, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave this right here. Well, I think it was ABC or NBC or whatever, and they were saying, oh, look at Trump, the coward. He left Canada because he was overwhelmed by other people that had the same power as he does. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I'm going to leave this video, which, by the way, didn't get any views. I'm going to leave this video right here so that I can come back to it. Because I believe that Trump is not a coward and he's about to do something. You know what he did? Bam! He did the strikes in a nuclear facility in Iran. And then CNN covered it. And then Fox covered it. I put that shit on there as soon as President Donald Trump left Canada. So you can come and try to, come in and say whatever you want to say, that I'm listening just to Fox News and that's where I get my information from. But that's not how it works. That's not how I work. I get a lot of information just because they say it. I don't believe it. I got to see what's going on. What makes sense? What's my critical thinking like when it comes to these issues? And then let me tell you why you libtards can never beat me and why I get upset at your stupidness. Or stupidity, is because I am the most negative person when it comes to issues that are out there new. I am the first one to disagree with everything. And then I got to be able to think, okay, I don't like this. What the hell's going on? I don't like this. And then I start putting A, B, and C together. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Okay. You know what? I get it. I know what it sounds like, but that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's how I make my decisions. All right. Sorry about that, sir. Let me rewind this a little bit so we can get the whole speech that these libtards are hating because we said in Jesus' name. By the way, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the Son of God. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is the Holy Trinity. Together they are one God, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-knowing.
During World War II.
O Lord, give us faith. Give us faith in thee, faith in our sons, faith in each other, faith in our united crusade. Let not the keenness of our spirit ever be dull. With thy blessing, we shall prevail over the unholy forces of our enemy.
In addition to covering the troops in prayer there,
look at this, fools. Fools. The racist pretending not to be racist, but their actions continue to defame them as racist. And only the ignorant fools follow these liars.
He was also calling for a national day of prayer. He was calling for the entire nation to cover our troops in prayer. And we see that it's not just from leaders, not just from Secretary of Defenses and War. We see here Nancy Pelosi, who took a knee to honor George Floyd in 2020, I assume praying in that moment.
Yeah, let's pray for the crackheads.
Because prayer...
No, actually, yeah. do pray for the crackheads. But these hypocrites, they're not really praying. They're just faking it. Just faking it like everything else that they do in Congress.
Matters, and prayer works. And prayer is not to be mocked. Now, we've reached out to CBS News for comment and have not yet heard back. David, there's not enough time in this show to cite the instances in our history of military leaders and government leaders calling for prayer and blessing and covering our troops and our citizens in that sacred prayer.
One, where is she on a daily basis? Congress opens with a prayer. Two, I know people who've heard that prayer, FDR's prayer. The troops who heard Patton's weather prayer. I happen to have the good fortune of working with the Patton Foundation, the Churchill Foundation. And when we look at this and what those men, including Winston Churchill, all those that prayed, it was a moment of saying, we are here for you, we support you. When you hear that and you're on the battlefield or about to enter the battlefield, it means something. It's beyond read the room. It's an ignorance that she demonstrates of the people that are on the other side of that prayer. And in our entire history as a nation, whatever your belief, go to those graves in Normandy where there are Jewish stars, crosses, or non-denominational, but they're all crosses that signify those who sacrificed their lives after that prayer. Eisenhower prayed. I could go back through this and list, but like you said, not enough time. And the importance, look, I've talked to people who heard those prayers and what it meant to them. Think about that other side of the equation. Think about those service members right now in the Middle East and how important it is to know that someone, even if they don't pray themselves, is praying for them.
That's right. My great-great uncle, who served in Patton's Rainbow Division, lays buried in Suresnes, France. He made the ultimate sacrifice, and he is covered and remains covered in prayer. Kaylee, it's not just wartime, too. We've had many government leaders and representatives who have called Americans to pray during non-war times.
Absolutely. And her problem seems to be beyond just the prayer. She says it was a call for the public to pray to our troops on bended knee and invoke Jesus' name. And then she puts ... 4 dots. What are you trying to get at, Margaret? Why is this so triggering to you? You're the big-time Sunday show host at CBS.
You know, I remember when I was when I was a missionary pastor, I was in a group, and I've always been very rebellious in a way, I guess, to religious people. But you know, we were sitting there and we were learning about becoming chaplains, right? If we were called to a disaster relief, we would be called in as chaplains. And you know, everybody, you're Baptist. Everybody in there is a Baptist, okay? And the leadership was telling us that when we go and pray, we can pray for people, but we cannot say in the name of Jesus Christ. And I sat there with a room full of people, all Christians. And I said, let me stop you right there. I'm going to tell you right now, I was the newest member in this group. Everybody stay shut up. Everybody. Nobody said one word. And I said, wait. I said, wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. We're Christians. He said, oh yeah, but there's Muslims and other. I don't care. Let me tell you something. If I'm going to go be a chaplain and I'm going to pray for people, I welcome Muslims to come and pray with me. I welcome everybody of any religion to come and pray with me. But I will not pray in vain. For the Bible tells us that we are to pray to God the Father in the name of Jesus. So no, if we pray and we don't invoke the name of Jesus Christ, then that prayer doesn't go to God the Father. It's just useless words into the wind. Oh yeah, but we don't want to offend. I don't care about offending anybody. I can't be a chaplain. You're not going to tell me to give you a fake prayer. That's not how it works. You know what's crazy? And I appreciate this, but at the same time, I want you to understand something. And I know that maybe I close some doors on me. But after we were finished with the meeting, other pastors that were in that meeting came to me and said, "That was amazing. I can't believe you said that." And I said, "You know what I can't believe? That you didn't say that." And some people appreciate it, and some doors open. But the fact is, you don't just go pretend to love God or fear God. You're not going to go pretend to be some Christian pagan that just goes to the religious motions but don't have true faith. And people can go crazy on me because I curse a lot. That's fine. You can judge my character as much as you want, but you know what? I'm not in charge of your salvation. So if you think that I am bad, prove me that you're better than me. But the only thing that you prove is that you're a hypocrite and that you are hateful and you are worse than me, because if you were better than me, you would teach me to be better than me instead of irritating me. That's how I know that you're a hypocrite. That's how I know that you have no faith. You know what true Christians tell me? Dennis, you're right. You're right. They know what the Word of God says. And there it is. That's my argument. The left will always be the donkeys, or the actual name, a jackass. I find it interesting that nobody on the left understands that God will put the goats on the left and the sheep on the right. The liars on the left and the righteous on the right. Isn't that crazy? Republicans choose a symbol of wisdom, an elephant, to represent the Republicans, but the racist Democratic Party chose to be jackasses. I think they got to change the animal. And don't get a goat either. Find a different animal, but anything but a goat and the jackass that you have right now. That's all I'm going to say about that. Don't worry, I'll open up the line so that you can call in. And let's see if you can show me that you are a better Christian than I am.
Why did this moment, of all things, trigger you? I'm very triggered by the Iranian executions. That's not triggering at all. And there's a history of faith going back in our government. Congress has prayed since the 1800s every time they open the halls of Congress. Going back to the 1800s, the Supreme Court. They began their day by saying, "God save the United States and this honorable court." Each of our presidents, from George Washington all the way to JFK and many beyond that, have begun their inaugurations by invoking the name of God. In God we trust. It is on our money. You go and look at our Pledge of Allegiance. We are one nation under God. There's a National Day of Prayer. That started in 1952. And just to end on this, July 4th, 1776, our founders acknowledged in the closing line of the Declaration of Independence that we do this with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. So I'm sorry if this is triggering to you, but all of American history should be triggering to you, Margaret.
I see this too as reckless. It is reckless to mock this, given that our troops are in harm's way. At all times, we have servicemen and women and then operators operating in the shadow that are in harm's way. So why are you mocking the call to cover them in safety and prayer, Margaret?
Well, I think it's disgusting, but you know what really stands out to me? Seeing Nancy Pelosi bending a knee in the name of George Floyd, a guy who participated in armed robbery, And then Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, asking us to bend the knee in prayer for our service members. That contrast sort of paints a picture about the two parties and where they are and the way their vision for America. I'll also point out just the fact that, well, one, faith gives us purpose, and I think we need more purpose as a country. But also, you look at every survey, and so many women on the left, there's an increase in mental health issues, unhappiness. There is also a decline in religion on the left, so you draw the dots. I believe Margaret Brennan is a liberal based off of her co-moderation of the vice presidential debate in 2024. So maybe that is why she's so ornery and angry. I mean, you draw the dots, or I guess, what was it? Dot. There
were four dots.
Yeah.
Four.
An ellipsis +1.
Yes, there you go.
That's right. There's only supposed to be
You would
three.
know that. Yeah, you would get that.
3 dots, not 4. She went the extra.
I had former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer on last hour, and we have it. And
Docino, that's horrible, bro. That is just horrible. Let's get another highlight for our beautiful Democrat Americans, and hopefully, you guys can wake up and see the light. So Janet Lee, let me tell you why he got deleted. I hope you're not trying to get deleted as well. So when we pray with faith, and you have to understand that one of the things that we do when we pray with faith is that we also have to be submissive to God's will. So we can ask for healing, but it has to be God's will. If you have faith and it's God's will, you will receive the healing. But I will tell you this, as a Christian, just because you have pain, just because you're sick, just because you have cancer, like my mother had, and she passed away from cancer, does not mean that you stop believing in God. Does not mean that God doesn't answer prayers. What that means is that you allow God's will to be done on earth. And if it's for us to live 200 years, let's live 200 years. If it's not, from God to let you live at all, and abortion is one of the tragedies that happens to you in your life, guess what? You don't have to suffer anything on this life, and you're going straight to heaven. With that being said, when you pray in obedience and have faith. We can pray for wars to stop, but wars are actually a reaction to sin. It is the consequences of allowing sin in our life to go rampant, like Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by the angels of God. And yet this country puts the Sodom and Gomorrah's flag in our schools. They put the rainbow flag. They've added the transgender mutilating mental disability or mental health issues into the flag. They put down the American flag, upside down American flag. These are anti-American protesters. The shame, the scum, the sleazebags of our country. That's who these people are. Such a shame. Last night yesterday when I was in my car doing the live, we got this 62-year-old man. He says, "Oh, I'm the one that's been trolling you." Well, I don't give a shit about trolls, but tell me, go ahead. I will listen to what you say. And he says, "Oh, you sound like you don't believe in Trump like you used to." I said, I haven't changed anything of how I believe or feel about Trump. I support him 100%. Can I question him? Of course. Can I disregard something? Of course. I can do whatever the hell I want. It's my choice. But I still support him 100%. So I allow him to go ahead and continue to talk. And he happens to give me the wrong damn example. And I said, well, give me an example of what Trump is doing wrong. And he says, I quote, "Well, we got farmers." As soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, big mistake. That is not what you should be saying. Okay, I let him talk. I continue to listen. And he goes, "Well, we got all these farmers, and because of Trump, ICE has come in, and all of a sudden, all these undocumented people all these migrants don't want to show up for work." And I said, let me stop you right there. You're saying that because thank you, Jason, because President Donald Trump is enforcing the law, I'm supposed to hate Trump? No, you're defending illegal immigrants and employers who abuse those illegal immigrants. No, you don't have my support. And I had to go off on this guy, even though he was like trying to be all philosophical, trying to sound all calm. He's 12 years older than me. My oldest brother is 16 years older than me. I don't give a shit. I kick his ass any day. I fight for him every day. I protect him every day. I am wiser than he is, even though he's older than me. Age doesn't mean anything. And I will give you respect when you deserve respect. Bartha, have a good one. Don't spam in my chat. Now go to the corner and think about what you did wrong in the Dennis Herrera show. Don't do that. You want to spam something, you can spam the name of Jesus Christ. Spam the American flag. Spam the American, the 10 Commandments that we have in the Supreme Court from the Bible. Spam the good stuff, not stupid things. With that being said, let's get to, well. Hey, election fraud, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. Illegals, they can't vote. They're not allowed to vote. Here you go, Bolly. Your name just tells me everything, but let me see what you say. Prove me that I'm wrong about you. Let's say you think Americans are stupid. That's not what I said. Don't you really think that we don't know what you are? I don't know what the hell that was. It sounded like it was going to be a question. He's probably not American and he doesn't speak English, or he's just illiterate. I don't say Americans are stupid. Just some of you. People like you. Those are the stupid ones. Cutting Edge, there you are. How are you, man? Happy Sunday, my friend. It's the same game, brother. The Communist Manifesto have a specific plan to confuse the enemy and us, to change our beliefs, to destroy everything and control. Absolutely. That is a Marxist belief. Somebody always says, what's the definition of Marxist? What's the definition of communist? Man, listen, man. Why don't you go look up what the definition of that is, and then we can come in and talk about what we have. The stupid, okay, that's good. That's a good name for you right there. Let me see what it says. The homosexuals and lesbians hate Trump. America and God. That name is just perfect for you, my friend. Perfect for you. You are stupid. With that being said, no, gays for Trump. Lesbians for Trump. What we don't want is the LGBTQ, period. Nothing beyond the gays and lesbians. Listen, everybody's going to be held accountable for themselves. Your salvation does not depend on my word. My salvation doesn't depend on your word. But the facts are that the Bible says that homosexuality is an abomination to God, and that doesn't change. It doesn't change. But we are not going to allow the rest of the LGBT alphabet people to destroy our country, to try to hurt the mentality of our children, to confuse our children. We will not allow them to mutilate our children. Any adult that goes and mutilate a child should be put to death. I believe that. As a matter of fact, I might remind me, will you? Remind me. When I'm campaigning, remind me to put that in there. Because once we get into office, I want something to say that if you mutilate a child's gender, you shall be put to death. Damn, wait a minute. That sounded a little bit too much like a Muslim, but I think it's appropriate. Let's make something that will deviate people from hurting our children. All right, BCJ says, God hates sin but loves the person. Absolutely. I believe that, and he put the gas price in there at $3.95 in Rochester, New York. Imagine that, $3.95. That is cheap compared to the West Coast over here with, I think my gas that I put down, this last one was $4.96, but it was up to $5.79. I guess that is a good thing. That is an 80-cent difference. And it just keeps fluctuating up and down. Hopefully it goes down. After we get done with these attacks completely, get everything back into normalcy, we shall be able to see all those prices going down. And just remember where they were, because when the time comes that this is finished, I don't want to hear excuses from the left telling me nothing has changed, because I will call you out on it. Trump is the Messiah. No, he's not the Messiah, but he was chosen by God, just like Biden was. Except Biden was chosen to give us an example of why we need Trump in office. So we need to stay true to that and keep supporting President Donald J. Trump. All right? So don't do that. Don't say that about Trump. You're giving us a bad name, okay? As a matter of fact, I know you mean well there, but you know what? I don't believe that, so I'm going to take that off. All right, you got time out for 10 minutes for doing that. Let's see. What makes you think the 20th attack is going to work? What are you talking about? I don't know. Better be more clear about that. Yes, Scott. Normalcy. Yes. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get into our next clip. And I want to get the opinion. I want the honest opinion from all the Democrats that are in my chat, or all of those who disagree with everything I say. Give me your opinion on this.
Bombshell new report is exposing elections fraud in the state of California. New videos showing some of the homeless population being bribed with cash and drugs in exchange for registering to vote and signing election petitions. The National News Desk, Jeff Herrera, joins us in this group who took this video, Jeff. They shared over 24 times. Appears to show cash exchange for ballot signatures and registration forms. Tell us more.
So in the nearly half-hour video, independent journalist James O'Keefe and his team are seen posing undercover on Skid Row in Los Angeles, all in an effort to expose election fraud, including what appears to be people being encouraged to use fake addresses to sign petitions and register to vote. From fake addresses to bribes, independent journalist James O'Keefe and his team recently went undercover along LA's Skid Row to expose election fraud in California.
After 9, they're going to give you an additional one more sign. After that one more, you get $3.
But what is that petition for? You know?
What is the petition for?
We getting.
What is the petition? I do not know.
O'Keefe says in the nearly half-hour video, they captured 28 times state non-governmental employees encouraged the homeless to use fake addresses in order to sign petitions and register to vote.
What do I put as my address? Yeah, just put you live on Pinocchio Lane. Oh, you can just fake it.
Oh, good.
In this video, we captured it 28 times over the course of a few days. That means it's happening tens, if not hundreds of thousands of times.
On hidden cameras, petitioners admitting they're paid between $7 and $10 per signature, but it is a federal crime to provide false information on a voter registration form or offer payment.
Now, because you haven't registered, I need to register you so I can get paid too. I'm paying you guys, I need to get paid. Come on.
The video also highlighting the LA Homeless Services Authority, who distributes federal money to Weingart Center, a homeless service in LA. A LASA employee being caught on camera directing people to where fraudulent petitioners were located and coaching plausible deniability.
Go to Skid Row and see if there's people out there with clipboards. With ignorance is no excuse for the law. But a lot of times I have to say I didn't know. I had no idea.
In response to the reporting, state leaders, including the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, acknowledging what's being shown, writing on X, quote, "I want to assure the public that this DOJ, under the leadership of Attorney General Pam Bondi, will aggressively pursue anyone and everyone involved in violating federal election laws." The LA District Attorney's Office also responding to O'Keefe, "Our office received your complaint and will open a file for preliminary review." Plus, Governor Gavin Newsom, his office writing, quote, "Anyone caught engaging in this activity should be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law."
And I think that's why Newsom is putting out the statement he's putting out. I think because he knows he's going to have to do something on this.
Now, this investigation comes as the state of California is already being looked into by the Trump administration surrounding alleged hospice and home health care fraud. Independent journalist Nick Shirley also recently releasing a video claiming to have found over $170 million in state fraud. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
Jeff, thank you.
Well. What say you, Democrats? What say you? Who tells me that I lie? Go on. Defend that. Defend that. You can't. You can't. I said last year, people were being, homeless people in other states were being recorded as living at the same location of churches. And they voted. Legally, if they're homeless, they can't vote. They don't have a residency. But Democrats found a way to give them some food, to give them some cash, to give them some drugs, so that these people would illegally vote for them. Democrats came into my channel and said, that's a lie. Well, here you are. Another $170 million in fraud. Let's not forget that Nick Shirley is still kicking ass, which, by the way, I believe that an actual reporter, I can't remember which station, but the actual reporter who has a station credibility went to look at some of these locations that Nick Shirley has found to be fraudulent. They can't find Jack either. That's right. Because we are being attacked from within. We have domestic terrorists. If you don't want to call them terrorists, you can call them whatever the hell you want. But traitor has a ring to it. They are destroying democracy. Interestingly enough, it is President Donald J. Trump, Donald John Trump, who is actually asking for voter ID. Verify now that you are an American citizen. If he wanted to commit fraud, he would just hire people to vote like Democrats do and don't sign it, because the moment that they sign that paper, they will be found out that it was the same person filling in all the boxes for all the Democrat representatives. Oh my God, it's so much common sense. I got 2 ballots delivered to my home address. And in my thought, let me see, how will I cheat? How can I get these 2 votes to count? Well, since they don't care about signatures, I could vote on both of those ballots, sign one of them, and just let the other one go so that they can count it. I bet you if it's Republican, they'll get rid of it. But if it's Democrat, they will allow it. And that, my friends, it's evidence of why Democratic states do not want to release the voter rolls. Now tell me, what evil has come upon all the red state citizens who have given the voter rolls? Please, tell me, what is the bad news? What horrible thing has the federal government done to the citizens of red states? Well, let me tell you something. Nothing. None. Everybody has your information. You got a credit card, they got your name, your birthday, they got your social security. If you have a bank account, then they have your name, your full name, maiden name, social security, your address, etc., and even access to how much money you make. If you go to the IRS with your social security, they will track every dollar that you have made in a legit job, and they will try to take every tax dollar that you didn't pay. Without an ID, you cannot get any of those benefits. You can't even get liquor. You can't even buy smokes. Challenge me on that. Challenge me on that. Everybody has all of your info. For Pete's sake, there is a Dennis Herrera working in some farm down in California. I tell you, man. I tell you, you guys don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. I get it. But you know what? I want to listen. How about you give me a call? How about we allow people to give us a call and give me your view? Here we go. See, I got my little thing right here to hold the phone for me. That way I can just click, click, click. I have the app on my computer. I've never been able to make it work. So this is the only way that I know that people can hear your voice. I want to use my platform with the 50 people that come in here and watch it, because I don't get that many views. Couple of thousand, no big deal. I want to give you a voice. I want you to tell me what you believe. Tanya says, hippie redneck is talking about pressure. What? Wait a minute. Where is this son of a bitch? Let me take something. Let me take a look at his activity here real quick. Dennis glues his wife's arm's hair. Okay. Watch it. Watch it, hippie. Matter of fact, I will report you for harassment. And you are banned from my channel. All right. F you, and go stick the biggest finger you have in your hand up your ass. And bye-bye. Don't talk about my family, especially my wife. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it. Bye, Patrick. If you're calling me a coward, get the hell out of here as well. I'll give it 10 minutes just in case there was a misunderstanding. Oh, man, I love it. I love it. But go on. I'm having a feeling that I'm going to cuss some people out on the phone if they don't behave. I'm going to tell you that right now. So in advance, I'm letting you know this might just get very, very explicit. Okay? So if you are, sensitive to words, right now might be the time that you want to leave. So I apologize about that. But you know what? It's time that I spank this mofos. You know, once I have my white coffee, these losers are toast. Swift Nuts. I like the name, but go to the corner. Shut the hell up if you're not going to be supportive. And think about these nuts. Oh, man, these guys, you got the wrong kind of Christian, bro. I am not that kind of Christian. I'm telling you, I'm like Trump. I don't know if I'm going to heaven. I hope so, but I don't know if I'm going to heaven. I'll tell you that right now, because I am not going to put up with you guys' dumbass bullshit. Yeah, thank you, Tanya. You see, you're my big sis. I like that. That's why my wife always appreciates your comments. Ozzy, what's going on, man? Good to have you here. Love to see my Christmas lights on, my blues and greens on here. Let's see. All right, come on, guys. 425-583-1155. Call in, but don't block your number. If you think that I care about your number, I don't give a crap about your number. As a matter of fact, I don't even like being on the phone. That's the reason why I don't want to be a call center or a telemarketer, especially a telemarketer. I hate bothering people. Yeah, I don't want to be stuck to a phone. I love playing here, with the computer and this and that and finding some information out, etc. But let's go. Right on 7. Dennis, my whole family loves you and we back you 100%. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to Nancy on behalf of Right on 7. Nancy, my love to you. I send you a cordial, warm, big bear hug to you and your family. May God bless you and your wonderful family. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Let's see. If your wife is so proud of you, why does she hide her face? Suzu, kiss my ass. Oh, it's going to start. It's going to start. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about Suzu's comments. Just so you know, this motherfucker comes in here, and it's always nasty. It's always nasty and disgusting, and I don't want that shit in here. Let's see. Thank you so much. God bless you. Many blessings to you and your family as well. Thank you. No problem. Right on. If I see your comment, I'll read it, and if it's good, I'll read it out loud. If it's bad, I'll read it out loud and then blast you for it. Joshua believes if the atonement of Jesus can't save Trump too someday, then there's no very what? And then it's not very powerful. Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to make a choice. I choose Jesus Christ, but you know, by the way that people judge me, you know, it sounds like I might not be going to heaven, but I believe that Jesus Christ's love and mercy and grace, it's a lot greater than any of us can ever have. All right, let's see. Who else is on here? Jason. God bless this sacred chat. Jason Beatrice, you're going to forgive me. You know what? Your son is in the military. I am sure that he hears all these bad words and probably more than on this chat. So I want to say big shout out to the soldiers, to Jason Beatrice's son, who is fighting very bravely and courageously for all of us, even the libtards, who I believe don't deserve the freedom that we get since they don't love or respect this country. Big shout out to your family and to the courageous warrior that you have serving in the military, sir. Appreciate it. My man says everybody loved DJ Trump until he came down the escalator. 100% on fire for the USA. Man, I wish I can play the Melanie movie for you guys. You know what? Melania's, she is so fantastic. I am so proud that she is our first lady. She really does bring out the best of the USA, in my opinion. Ladies, I'm telling you, if you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. She is amazing. The video is beautifully done. It is a movie, but it's in a form of a documentary, so to speak. It's amazing what you're going to find behind doors. They got the best takes, some of the takes that we didn't get when we were streaming this certain things live. Excuse me. You will have the hidden scenes that we didn't see before. Melania, I think, just, I don't know. She makes me love America even more. You know what Michelle Obama did? She made me fight for America more. But you know how? By how much she hated America. And that is the difference between Michelle Obama and Melania Trump. Melania Trump loves the United States of America and all the people and has a heart for the children. Michelle Obama pretended to be a woman, pretended to care for children while hating white people. While in the White Office, in the Oval Office, in the White House, she felt oppressed. She felt oppressed. Make that make sense. White people put her in office and she feels oppressed. They put her husband in office. And she feels oppressed. Thank you, Janet. I believe it, but, just trying to make sense to these people. Hey, come on, guys. 425-583-1155. I think we lost 40 of our libtards. They just left. Anybody else that wants to call in and fight with me about who can protect America best? Let's go with that. Let's talk taxes. Let's talk tariffs. Let's talk immigration. But let's have a conversation. Don't give me bullshit or lie to me or come over here giving me insults, because I will eat you and tear you apart. Or I'll tear you apart and eat you. Michelle wasn't introduced to Barack by Epstein either. Is that right? Let's just say Barack Obama didn't do much against Epstein for a reason. I don't know. Maybe he just spent all the time getting his name out of there. Notice, if Trump If Trump was hiding something, you know how easy it would be to delete files? You know how easy it would be to say, all right, this is it. This is all the files we have. This is everything that is has been recorded. Get done. That lucky one. Of course you would say that. Melania, the film, was a documentary about a trans first lady. This guy, bro, you cannot be more retarded. Just for that, go to the corner. Go to the corner and think about what you did wrong right here. That's just the retardation on that lucky one. It's amazing how this retard just doesn't get it. Retards are all welcome in my chat, but at the same time, I mean, come on. Come on. Here we go. New York. Oh, my goodness. I want to hear some good news from New York. Who's calling? ¿Qué pasa, Mufasa? What up, BCs?
Man, I'm laughing. This one of your fans called Trump the Messiah. I know what I say.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Know what I was like to each his own.
Yeah.
You believe in it. Everybody got their own belief, bro.
Yeah.
But we believe in Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. But yeah, but
I know you like Trump, but I worship Jesus.
Yeah. You know, I know people do it to troll, but I don't like it. You know, even in a joke, I don't like that, man. I really don't. I don't like it.
No. In the book of Galatians said, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked.
Yeah.
Whatever man soweth, he also shall reap."
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's.
You can't mock God, bro.
Yeah. You know what, BC? I know that people don't understand everything I say or the way that I am, but you know, at some point you have to understand, man. I am so against a lot of jokes, a lot of Christian jokes. Like I like some Christian jokes that are funny, you know, just they're clean.
Eddie Griffin.
But I just, man, I don't know.
Listen to Eddie Griffin. When you get tired downtime, I want you to listen again. Text me back. Like, you gonna laugh your ass off. Listen to Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin? Oh, yeah. I like Eddie Griffin, man.
Dude, man. Yo, me and you agree. Look how God worked it out. Me and you agree to disagree. Look how God worked it out.
Yeah. Well, it's like once we have the understanding, it's a big difference.
Yeah, of course.
But these guys don't care, man. They don't care to get to know anybody. They just want to hate without a reason. They just can't get over their hate. They can't troll in you know what? They can't troll in how would I say it? Not in good spirit. I don't know how to say it, but there's a way that you can troll me, man, without being an asshole.
When I was told all the time, they said, "Oh, you scared to call this?" I said, "Let me go get me a new phone so I can call my brother."
Hey, BC, tell me, man, what's going on over there, man? What's going on in New York? How you feeling over there?
It sucks here, bro. They let these fellas out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? It sucks over here.
They're still doing that? I thought they well, no, I lie if I thought they would do that. I'll be lying. I don't believe they will ever.
No, it sucks. No cap. It sucks in New York State. It really sucks here, bro. I grew up in Rochester. These politicians suck. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna call Democrat politicians suck here.
Were you here when I mentioned Governor Hochul over there begging the rich to come back?
That witch, man. She all talk. She's all talk, bro. They all talk. All they doing is talking. They all talk. Help the people. See, we have a street ministry here in Rochester. Me and my brothers, David Chuck. We have God Squad. Our street ministry is God Squad ministry. We go out and we talk to the homeless. We talk to the lost souls in downtown Rochester, and we encourage people to come to Christ. That's the real job in America. That's the real calling in America. I hear you when I was trolling you. I was like, this man, he prayed to God. He like his belief, but he puts God before a man. And
yes,
I like
sir.
that about it. That's what made me call in the show.
Yeah.
And I like that about it. Man, this man is serious about the Lord. I said, okay. Yeah, we all sinners. I'm a sinner. You a sinner.
Absolutely.
I'm a sinner, we all sinners.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna share this with you, BC. I have a friend of mine that I met while I was playing Destiny 2. Now he's older than me. He's like I think he's 6 years old. He's like 56 years old. Okay. And his name is Bob. I call him Bobby. His name is Robert, but his name is Bobby, and he's Puerto Rican. He lives in California. His wife is a paralegal, and he smokes weed like you need water in the desert. But I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, he has a really bad problem. He had a back problem, an accident, blah blah blah. But the reason why I tell you this is because I don't like smoking marijuana. I hate the smell. It makes me nauseous. But I love this guy, even though he doesn't agree with me. He is, bro. I have these feelings for him, and it's not a gay feeling. I'm gonna tell you. You know what, BC? If I saw you, man, face to face, honestly, even pizza guy, right? That hates us, dude. I gave him a hug like I haven't hugged a friend in years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, you know what, bro? That's what makes America great, brother.
We brothers in Christ.
Yes, sir.
That's no belief.
Yeah.
We are brothers in Christ. At the end of the day, we are still Americans. I troll a lot.
Wait, you troll? No, I never noticed. You never troll. Just so you guys know, on the audience, BCJ is a Somali pirate from Somalia. Oh man, bro, I was cracking up when you told me I'm from New York. I was like, this bro, you really got me convinced, bro, that you were Somalian, bro, a Somalian pirate. I was like, bro, come on, you got to be joking.
I was trolling. I'm back today.
Yeah. No. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, and let's. This is gonna be brought up when I'm running the campaign for governor. When I was 20 years old, okay, I was being a bad boy, and there was this guy. He sold me a bag at 20. Now, some people don't know what 20s and 40s are, but 40 is a 40 ounce. Yeah, okay. So 40 ounces is a beer, and 20 is for a bag of weed. So I got this bag of weed, and I was supposedly I was going to smoke it with my girlfriend, and I ended up smoking the whole bag myself, and so I was gone, right? But then I went to another place, and they were knifing the weed. You know what that is, and so I took a couple of hits of that, and then I went to another house with a friend. And they were passing out a joint. Now, I don't know what the hell was in that joint, but apparently it only affected me, okay? So I'm going to tell you, it must have been horrible. But, nobody else was tripping.
I don't know what you put in your weed. I don't buy from you. I don't know what you know. I'm good.
I can't. I just can't do it. Listen, so the whole point is that I think like either I overdose. Somebody says you can't, but I felt. I mean, I was hearing echo voices. I was tripping with some flash. You know those paints that are made for the black lights. I was tripping with those with my eyes closed, and people were like, "Hey, Dennis, what are you doing? I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So,
what's the things called? That you take from the it's gonna come to me.
I don't know what the hell it was.
Gummies, Dennis, gummies.
Oh, okay.
Gummy. I took one time, man. When I went in my house, I never get this right. 2013, bro. I went in my house, my whole head was spinning. Man,
yeah, that's what it felt like.
I'll never take a gummy again.
Yeah, so my thing is like every time that I smell weed, I get nauseous. Like I can't stand it, and I think it's because of that bad experience.
Is weed legal in Seattle?
Yeah. They throw them out to the crowd. They throw out the joints to the crowd in Hempfest, in Seattle's Hempfest.
That's what's up.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in, man. You be good. Be good. God bless you as well. You and your family. Yeah, it's a true story, and I think that's why I don't like the smell of it. But I don't care if people smoke weed. That's their prerogative. If you drink liquor, the Bible says not to be a drunkard. Meaning an alcoholic. But, if you want to drink, that's fine. Just be responsible with it. I draw my line on marijuana and alcohol. Anything to go on with any other drug, I stand against it. And I am with President Trump on this. Say no to drugs and alcohol, period. And even smoking, not even cigarettes, which I smoked for many years. Not even cigarettes. Say no to cigarettes. It's not good for us. You know, I don't get me wrong. I like smoking cigarettes. I just don't. Okay. Remember this: you are allowed to do whatever the hell you want, but there is consequences to everything that you do. All right. So, guys, the phone line works. If you want to give me a phone call, let me go ahead and play a little bit of Kathy Hochul. Kathy, the governor. Here we go.
People who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who've stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our
Now, I want you, if you're on the left side, I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. Check this out. So, people on the left, they want to tax the rich, right? Pay your fair share. Okay, whatever. Who is she begging to come back? Did you see her telling more socialists to move to New York? No. Did she call for more migrants, illegal immigrants, to move to New York? No. Who is she calling on? Who is she calling on to help the economy in New York? Is she calling the broke-ass folks who want to be on welfare and need free health care? No. Who is she calling for? Here we go.
tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We saw that that's not the case. I mean, you know, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure.
All right. Watch a different video because I don't want to watch those ads. Let's see. Nope, don't want to listen to him either. All right, guys, the phone line's still available. Just give me a call, and you can go ahead and tell me who is the governor of New York calling to pay taxes and come back to New York. Here we go. Let's go ahead and listen to, here we go. Let's get some extra news from
Major
Fox.
companies fleeing blue states for red ones in search of better business climates, including low taxes, and politicians, you know, that actually support capitalism. Yamaha Motor Corp relocating its headquarters from California to Georgia, ExxonMobil moving its corporate registration from New Jersey to Texas, and Starbucks reportedly plotting a huge office move to Nashville. Fox Business contributor Lou Bassanese joins me now. Lou, when are these far-left governors going to realize that they are at a tipping point where businesses, they're not coming back so long as these far-left governors and far-left assemblies continue with their socialist policies?
I mean, you want the truth? I don't think they're ever going to realize it's too late. I mean, it just is. I mean, look at Kathy Hochul, right? She comes out and she's begging.
Oh, Hochul.
New York residents, go down to Palm Beach and get a bus and drag them back, not change the tax policy. I mean, people are moving first. Companies are just following the U-Hauls. We've seen a mass exodus from all these blue states, California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Illinois, New York. The U-Hauls are leaving the businesses now. Think about it. These are two companies, 50 years in California, 188 years in New Jersey. It's not suddenly go woke, go broke. It's a very insidious hollowing out that you can't reverse by just going on media and making an appeal. Please come back. Please come back to New York.
I'm glad you mentioned that appeal. We're going to show the juxtaposition here. Kathy Hochul in 2022, Kathy Hochul today. Watch.
Just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
It should be clear.
I told you so. We have been telling you. You don't listen. BC is stuck in the middle of a pile of shit right now. Because, hey, listen, man, I think right now is the right time for you to say independent. Don't be a libtard. That is crazy. How right have we been about this, man? How right have we been about this? And still, even after seeing the facts, even after seeing the proof that everything that we have been saying has been right. Now, to change gears for a little bit here, I will say this on a serious note. I will say this: the attacks that we have with Iran right now. There's always a chance for war, whether we attack or not. I mean, let's be honest. Russia's attack on Ukraine. I'll be honest right now. I want Ukraine and Israel and Qatar on my side right now. I want those people on my side, even the Emirates. I want all of the Arabs that are not supporting Iran's and the terrorist Islamic people. I want all of the Arab countries, Ukraine and Israel, to be very, very tight with us right now. Because North Korea, I don't know if you know this, but North Korea has a cult in their country to where many people judge Kim Jong-un, judged them, mocked them, and said that he wasn't strong enough to be a leader, and it has forced him to be a really bad dictator. Now, they don't allow press, just like, in China, etc. But they have this cult and indoctrination to hate America. You guys remember the war against the China and Korea? I think it's something like that. This is something that they're teaching. And, how American went over there, raped their women, and did all these things, right? And they teach literally hate against the United States of America. Now, even though Trump went over there and made a sign of this and that, and whether Kim Jong-un loves Western culture and, Disneyland and all this stuff, he is still very dangerous. And he has been, launching missiles towards South Korea Sea. I think it was South Korea Sea. I think that's how it is. Yeah, to South Korean side sea. I think somewhere over there. But he's testing missiles. They got nukes. And one of the reasons why we don't attack them, to be honest, is because they do have nukes. But they hate America. Let's make that clear. Let's be clear that they hate America. China is not our friend, let's be honest. So at any given time, there is going to be a World War III. It is inevitable. It is inevitable. So what we're doing today matters because we need to establish force. We need to establish power, reputation. Nobody follows a soft coward. Countries and leaders across the globe, around the globe, will only respect their ruthless leaders. You have to be ruthless. War is not pretty. There is casualties. There is mistakes. But you got to stand for what you believe. I noticed yesterday on my live, a couple of people were talking about this innocent children in schools being killed by a bomb, and there was another one, and this and that. And my mind it just stops to wonder, why are they going to school? They should be avoiding going to any type of buildings and stay home. They should be evacuating the area if they need to. That's just me, though. It's just a dumb question. Why are they going to school? I just don't understand. When there's a war, there should be some sort of warning or safety plan in place, for innocent people to get out of the war. But nonetheless, we need to deal with Iran. Iran is connected with Russia. Russia is connected with Africa. Africa is connected with Russia and China. North Korea is connected with China and Russia. Ukraine is kicking Russian ass. Ukraine has decimated Russians, and they're a tiny country. Israel is even smaller, and they're kicking ass. So I will say this: I don't believe that we should involve ourselves with Ukraine, but I'll be honest with you, man. We need those people to know that we got their back, and we need them to have our back. If there was a war, a third World War III, I don't know why I say it that way. I'm thinking in Spanish. If there was a World War III, who are our allies? Well, I can tell you we got millions of soldiers that we can put on the ground from 18 different countries that have signed an agreement with us and that we are helping their countries to fight the cartel and the criminals. We have Venezuela. Excuse me. We got Venezuela, who now we believe are working towards some sort of more than an alliance, but a friendship. We have Israel, which, has a lot of technology that they have shared with us, and back and forth. I believe that Israel is an extended branch of the United States of America. And, who knows? Maybe we can call Israel a territory or a 51st state. That would be fantastic. What do you guys think about that? Just saying. I'm just saying, prepare for war. Prepare for war. Because whether you like it or not, it's coming. It's coming. So with that being said, of course we don't want wars. We're pro-peace. And we don't want wars. But at the same time, we're not going to cower down and say, oh, you know what? Oh, you're right. Let's talk about it. And let the evil people get away with it. One of the things that bugs me is when I hear China talking shit about Israel. I'm like, who are you? Who are you to say anything about Israel? You starve your own people. You sacrifice your own people. And now for the better of your country, for the better of your power, you don't care that millions of Chinese people die because you got billions. Well, I believe that we don't show the world that we're cowards, and we show them who we are. And that is warriors ready to defend this country. We got real men on the conservative side. On the Democratic side, You got a bunch of fake men and fake women. Uh-oh. North Carolina. Take your shirt off.
How's it going, Dennis?
Hey, what's poppin'? Who do we got on the line?
Hey, man, Mike Giss from North Carolina.
Mike, tell me what's on your mind. What's bothering you? What do you fear today? What do you wish was different?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. It's been a couple of weeks since I've got to call in or anything. I've had a busy few weeks. But I was just sitting there listening to what you was talking about. And it made me think of all these celebrities and all these people on the left talking about, we're going to move to Switzerland.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to have to tell baby Susie that we had to flee our country and move to Switzerland. So I think we could solve a lot of this country's problems if we all ask the president to induce a extra 4% tax on us, and we put that money together and buy all them idiots tickets to Switzerland, which is predominantly white and have stricter border control.
Yeah.
You know, but let's just pay an extra 4% taxes for a year. Just send them all to Switzerland. That's what they want. We can just send them there, and they can live in that predominantly white country with stricter border laws.
Isn't that crazy?
Since we're so horrible.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that that the most successful countries are predominantly white? What is that? Why is that? Isn't that crazy? That's so racist, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
But here you got all these idiots saying that we're the racist people.
Yeah.
Then they all want to go to a country that's predominantly white with
Yeah.
stricter border
Yeah.
control.
It's sort of the
Two things they're griping at us about. It's oxymoron.
yeah. It's sort of like the same. It's like sort of the same idea, right? With Muslims saying that Allah is so great, but they moved to Christian countries because of the prosperity and the power they have acquired. Isn't that crazy? It's the same.
That and then they moved to Christian countries because they want to change the American people's opinion over to Muslim. You know, there's been a bunch of them, the extreme ones, the extremists. There's been a bunch of them that literally have propaganda about that.
Yeah. You know what? Let me pause you there. Hold that thought. So I misunderstood propaganda. I was raised to think propaganda was just kind of like advertising. And it is in a way, it's advertising.
It is, yeah.
But I thought when you hear the word propaganda, that it's just, advertising something good. But apparently propaganda is like a bullshit, advertising, so to speak. What do you think about that? How do you translate propaganda? Because I was told that it was evil. In Spanish, it still means the same thing, advertising.
Yes. Okay. Well, it is. It's advertising evil. It's advertising extreme beliefs.
Can you advertise good and common sense?
You can.
Okay. So that's my propaganda. I can call it propaganda.
The people that we don't like, that's why they say that we spread propaganda.
Gotcha. Okay.
The left saying that we spread propaganda and lies. It's just like our people say they spread propaganda and lies.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. I mean, honestly, people, let's open up our eyes. We all have opinions. Hey, we might be walking down the road together or driving down the road through the city, and we might see a group of girls walking down the sidewalk. And let's say we're two young men in our 20s, and we're sitting there, man, look at her, golly. Man, I like the girl in the yellow shorts. Lord have mercy. And you're over, man, no, I like the one in the red. I like mine with a little extra cushion or something like that. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. And when people will realize that a lot of stuff is just somebody's opinion, has nothing to do with you, there's nothing wrong with that person because their opinion's different. The only thing that makes us different is our minds, the way we think, which control our actions. Now, you want to be a bad person, your actions are bad.
Yeah, correct.
That's the only thing that makes us different. Nothing to do with our color, nothing to do with our sex.
Here we have a break.
Other than the fact that one of us has ovaries dropped and the other ones didn't.
Way Rada coming into shot. Joe Biden rides for the United States of America leader.
Your ovaries dropped and you think you're a girl, you're confused, please go get help. Because if you were born a man, what's wrong with recognizing to be a man and just wanting to be feminine and wear women's clothes? Be a cross-dresser. They say they're men. You know, don't deny your what you are or who you are, because opinions are opinions, which is propaganda. But I just love how they're so clueless, because honestly, what they're hollering against is what they want. So when they're saying we're doing something bad, and they're bringing your ass because it's stuff they've done in the past to help push us to the point to where what's going on is going on, and the ones in there are trying to correct it and fix it, but they want to turn around and blame our government now for being the ones that caused it. No, they're just trying to fix what's going on, and then people will vote for them and fall for their ignorance. And when they do, they'll continue to push forward with what they were doing, and then they'll look at them and say, hey, see what they did? We're trying to fix it. But it looks like the damage has already been done, and then they let it go. And then we need to embrace it. They brainwash people to believe their crazy idiocracy. Why else would somebody, and I love it when you see African Americans and Hispanics too stepping up, John Luciano and people like that, talking about they're going to move to Switzerland or somewhere like that because all the BS here, and the laws there are stricter than they are here. The laws there are what they're saying we're trying to do.
Well, that's the problem. That is the problem. That you know, we're enforcing the law, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
No.
That is a fact. Hey, thank you so much for your call. Let me play a couple of more clips that I'm finding here to make Biden look good. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you. Be blessed.
All right.
Take care. Anybody else has an input? Please feel free to call. Hey, the lucky one says Joe Biden can run circles around President Trump. Well, here he is riding a bike. Woo, such athletic. Whoa, hey. Look at that. He's feeling good.
Yeah, do you guys ride bikes? Well, they have some that have this thing you put your toe in that constrains your foot so it doesn't slide off the pedal. When I was getting off the bike, it got stuck on the right side.
I see it. I see his foot. I see it, guys. Be nice. It was an accident. It can happen to anybody. But now that we got people saying that, let's see. Let's look at Biden's best fails. How's that? Let's give you guys some of the. Oh man, let's see. I think this might have it. You know what? Let's see. Where is it? Let me find a specific one, but I'm going to play this one next. Here we go.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Eagle appears to be very disoriented today. We're going to need to do like last time and point out exactly where we need him to go. Secret Service team, prepare a point. Hold that point. Perfect. No way he could miss that. Eagle will be turning in 5, 4, 3, 2. He missed his mark. He missed his mark. Eagle is wandering. Jesus Christ.
Of America. God bless you all. Does Joe Biden have a brother? I'm lucky I have 2 younger brothers. I'm the oldest of 3, and I've got a sister who's the love of my life.
The Fox News Decision Desk can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden will win the state of Alabama.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the
can't make this up, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm yelling timber, you better. I'm yelling timber, you better move. You better.
Ah, man, that's sad. That is sad. The way they use that man, that is sad, my friends. I shouldn't even laugh at that one, but the rest of them are funny. The rest of them are funny. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Take a dive. Maybe he thought there was a pool there or something. Who knows? But this is absolutely my favorite, man.
Is making his way down the helicopter stairs. We know his history with stairs, and this could be a disaster. Stand by. Eagle has made it down the stairs. He was a little wobbly at the end, but he made it. Eagle appears to be very disoriented today. We're going to need to do like last time and point out exactly where we need him to go. Secret Service team, prepare a point. Hold that point. Perfect. No way he could miss that. Eagle will be turning in 5, 4, 3, 2. He missed his mark. He missed his mark. Eagle is wandering. Jesus Christ. All units be advised. We are going to need a pretty lady or small child of some sort with nice smelling hair to get the Eagle back on track. And we've lost visual.
Oh my God. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. Now, guys, listen, this is 5 years ago. And people on the left are still saying that Biden can do laps around President Trump. That's what this lucky one idiot says. This is the guy that he believes can run laps around President Donald Trump. You know what's so funny about that? It's called karma. He tells people, you know, he's going to beat them up, and he talks the tough talk, but he doesn't walk the walk. And here he is proving that he doesn't walk the walk. Crazy. Unbelievable. I have to point this out because you people on the left keep lying to yourselves, and you keep defending something that we know was so obvious. Even today, after proof of everything going on, you still defend them. You still make excuses for them.
All right, Joe, let's see if you can even get to the damn mark this time. Remember, like we practice, walk around, go up and say hi to the general, and then get behind the podium. Yep, up the stairs, careful, careful. You know how you are with stairs. Yeah, okay, that podium, yes. Walk forward, say hi to the general, and stop. And stop. Where are you going? Not that, oh my God. Joe, go back to the podium. Joe, oh my God, this is so awkward. These poor cadets. Joe, to the podium. Could you, yeah, thank you. Direct him to the podium, please. Come on. There you go, old man. Get up there. No, the podium, you idiot. Where are you going? Oh, God. You know, I hope something happens to you later.
A few moments later.
All right, go ahead and walk off the stage now, Joe.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Did someone push you? Invisible stairs? Where? There's nothing there, Joe.
Well done, sir. Well done. That's from Meme TV. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Don't ever come into my chat and tell me how much better, how sharper, and how smarter, and how coordinated, and how much tougher Joe Biden is than President Donald J. Trump. Eat your words, that lucky one. That's right. Eat your words. I saw too many of them. Real life, myself. It's just funny. Listen, I'm not going to say Trump is perfect, but come on, let's be honest. Okay? Let's be honest. I have also made a couple of clips myself. Or what? Or else I am going to show you more videos of Joe Biden. The guys that you keep saying that he's better than Trump. Wilbur, does that hurt your feelings? Does that hurt your libtard feelings? Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry that you get offended so easy. I don't see any differences. Hamper Jr. needs to get some glasses. Somebody please tell him what the difference is. Even the cadets were laughing. That's right, Dirty Money. Man, I love Joe Biden, man. Joe Biden is hilarious. That is some serious entertainment. Serious entertainment. All right, let's make fun of President Donald J. Trump. Let's take a look. Donald Trump's failures. Oh man, let's go. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the funny fails from Trump. Guys, hey, you got to be fair. Here we go. Donald Trump funny fails compilation. Here we go. All right, give me a second. I gotta rewind it from the beginning. I know he has misspoken as well, so let's be equal. Let's be fair. Let's be just. Oh, wait a minute. What do I see here? Who is the stream boss? Is Cutting Edge. Well, guess what, Mr. Cutting Edge? Before we go anywhere, you are the stream chat boss. So let's get dancing, baby. Throw those emojis out there for the members that we have on this chat. Not only that, but I also want to say thank you so much to all of my members. And with that being said, I got to do a little bit of AI with myself so that you guys can go ahead and enjoy the laugh. This AI dances a lot better than I do.
be here, kid.
Hey, thank you guys for the love and thank you for the support. All right. That's all, folks. Let's take a listen.
I don't know who little.
I could have swore that it said Trump fails. Trump's failed compilations. I'm gonna be honest. It's not the same fails as Biden's. I expected to see more. By the way, if you're not watching this live, the audio is gonna be clipped because I don't have rights to that audio, so it will be clipped off if you're watching this when it's not live.
John is. I really
he was on The Apprentice.
I don't know. Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's it. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay?
So nice to see you. How are you? It looked like 1.5 million people. The rest of the, 20-block area all the way back to the Washington Monument was packed. And I want to just pray for Arnold, if we can, for those ratings, okay? Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Coming from a different...
Yeah, because honking the horn, it's a big, huge fail. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
World and only being a politician for a short period of time. How am I doing? Am I doing okay? I'm president. Hey, I'm president. Can you believe it, right?
I've never seen a president taps his wife's ass on the way down from the stairs of the plane. Here you go, baby. Pat. Right in the booty. Swift nuts. 15 years of marriage. I am sure she doesn't want to be with me. Absolutely. You're right. 100%. I got no facts. I got no proof. I got no time being married. 15 years, you're right. How can I ever doubt you? You know best. You know better than me. But I'll tell you what, if I'm governor, you might get to see me tap my wife's booty in public as we walk. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey, get out the way. How is that President Donald J. Trump's fail? How is that? How is that? How is that a fail? He said, get the hell out of my way. I'm the important person here. Everybody comes here to see me. Oh, you guys can't. Oh, you hate that, don't you? How is that? I want to know. Why is that a failure? How is that on there? Oh, man. Unbelievable. The president of France, Macron, almost fell on his ass, and President Trump did not move. Let me rewind this. Let me rewind this real quick. All right, I'm gonna mute the sound. I don't want to keep getting clipped. Okay. Look at this. Look at Macron. Watch this. I want you to know the difference on the strength. President Trump didn't flinch. He kept his hand where he had it, and Macron almost fell off trying to separate himself from Trump. That is a lot stronger than Biden, I'll tell you that right now. Just, being an alpha. Oh, man.
Does red mean it's on or is off? On.
What the hell is this?
17,000 jobs. It's okay. What?
Man, I hope you libtards enjoy that. Let's go ahead and finish up the Hochul video here.
That first clip was her telling New York Republicans to go to West Palm Beach. Yeah. The second clip was telling them to come back. There is so much insane with that juxtaposition. But for me, Lou, I think the biggest thing, the worst part is saying patriotism, things that you and I think are go America, hand over heart, red, white, and blue. She thinks patriotism is moving back to New York and giving her your hard-earned money so that she can fritter it away. Your thoughts?
I think you said it right. Give her your hard-earned money, not give it back. That's usually what they say, as if you didn't earn it and you don't deserve it. Our founding fathers started this country to get away from illegitimate taxation, right? And here she is thinking you can just beg people to come back. It's not happening. This is not even political. This is mathematical. Companies are looking at the spreadsheet. They're not saying Yamaha's not saying we're moving to Georgia because of the politics. They're saying improve efficiency, improve profitability. Exxon, we're going to maximize shareholder value. The math doesn't math out for them to live in these blue states and be headquartered there. They're following the people, and this is going to keep happening.
I don't know about you. I go down to West Palm a lot. I know of 0.0 flag-waving Floridians that are going to say, oh, Kathy Hochul, you make a good point. We're moving back to New York.
Especially when it's like 30 degrees out.
Literally nobody is. Lou Bassani's awesome to have you on the program.
Great to be here.
Great to be with you, my friend. Okay.
I went on Brian Kilmeade.
They can't wipe it off. Domestic, let's see, what is this? Domestic out-migration, economist warns residents. Of course, so did we. Senator Fetterman, I believe in a very secure border.
So let's talk about what you might not have heard while the Department of Homeland Security has been shut down. Anti-ICE agitators blew agents' cover in Boston, allowing a child rape suspect to evade arrest for weeks. An illegal immigrant student was accused of groping girls in Virginia, where the Democrat governor is actively working to keep state authorities from collaborating with the feds. And ICE arrested an illegal immigrant in a hit and run that killed a Texas deputy. CISA is investigating an Iranian cyber attack while their agency remains unfunded. Not to mention, you may have noticed this too, TSA lines across the country stretching out of control as officers continue to go without pay. And still, instead of working to confirm Markwayne Mullin to get things back on track, at least one rogue lawmaker thought it was more important to air personal grievances.
A Trump-hating felon attacked me from behind in my yard. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted.
As far as my terms as a snake in the grass, sir, I work around this room to try to fix problems. I've worked with many people in this room. Seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us.
Oh!
Thankfully, despite the pushback, Senator John Fetterman crossed party lines to try and bring an end to all this chaos. Senator Fetterman joins me now.
You want to laugh where I get my news from? Why don't you tell me where you get your news from there, Fergus? Tell me, what is your credible sources of news? I don't have to guess. I know. But go ahead and put them on the chat for us, will you? Go ahead and put them on the chat.
And Senator Fetterman, welcome back to the show. We are one step closer to Senator Mullin actually being confirmed as the new DHS secretary, and that's thanks to a yes vote from you. So I'm curious what it was that actually made you vote yes for him. What was that deciding factor? Because I know you probably had a lot of pushback from your fellow Democrats on that.
Well, one, because I believe in a very secure border. And we also agree that we should deport all of the criminals. You know, my friend Markwayne and I, we agree on that. And also, I also have a relationship with him as well, too. So I voted for him because he is a friend, and he and I have the same kinds of priorities about our security. And now I know I'm going to take a lot of Democratic blowback, which is strange to me, because there wasn't really a lot of Democratic outrage when 300,000 people were encountered at our border back during the prior administration. As a Democrat, I started to make that argument. Now, and the people that are criticizing my vote now, many of them were even in Congress at the time that had no problem with that. You know, we might be in the same Democratic Party, but clearly they didn't have an issue with that open border situation. And that's why I vote for Senator Mullin, and I look forward to working with him. So that might isolate me with some people in my party, but that's not country over party.
Yeah, well, speaking of that shutdown, that's one of the reasons, Senator, that this confirmation is even more critical. We're still in the midst of that DHS shutdown, and we're seeing the consequences of that. If anybody's gone to the airport lately, those TSA lines are totally out of control all across the country, and we have a domestic terror threat that's still looming large right here in America. So we know that the negotiations have been very slow going at best. How do you see that playing out in terms of this shutdown?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't speak for anyone, just me. I've been consistently the only Democrat to vote against this shutdown. It's wrong. You know, you witnessed what happened in Michigan. That individual drove into the synagogue. He showed up to kill 150 toddlers. So why would you want to make America more unsecure in the middle of these kinds of attacks? And now, if you've seen any one of those disaster movies about...
And no outrage from the libtards. You notice that? Oh, what about the innocent children in the war? What about our innocent children here? None of you libtards say anything about that. This is why you got no respect from me.
Cyber attack. Well, guess what? The Cybersecurity Agency is under DHS, and that's shut down right now. And now you will also see people, if you're flying, you're going to see long, long lines. And I am there all the time. I ask all of those TSA agents, hey, do you like getting paid? Yeah, we do, you know. and that's an important thing. Now, that's for me, that's a violation of our core values as a Democrat to punish union workers, going without getting paid.
Yeah, it's a really a shame to see. And listen, I think a lot of Americans are appreciative that you seem to be the lone Democrat who wants to reopen the government. You're also the lone Democrat, I'm going to pivot to Iran for a moment, who has voiced public support for Operation Epic Fury. Why do you think that is, Senator?
Well, because Democrats, agreed with that. When Kamala Harris ran for president in 2024, she identified Iran as her top concern. Every single Democrat has said, can't ever allow them to acquire a nuclear bomb. And when someone does that and make sure that's almost impossible, why can't we celebrate that? That comes from the truth that because the other side did that, and if it comes from Trump, it's punishing as a Democrat to agree with that thing. And that's the place, and that's where I live in that space. But I will always follow what I think are the moral clarities, and that's whatever you want to, country over party. But it's a great thing that Iran has been broken. Now, why am I the only Democrat that just says those same things?
Now, I want to kind of go to something you made a lot of headlines for earlier this week. You commented that the Democrats don't really have a real leader and are instead governed by what it sounds like you were just talking about, Trump derangement syndrome. So can you expand on that a little bit? And do you see this changing anytime in the near future for your party?
Yeah, it is going to change. It's going to get worse. Absolutely. When someone asked about, who's the leader, I'm like, yeah, that's TDS. Increasingly, this party's defined by the opposite of that. I said that in the interview. If the president could come for ice cream and lazy Sundays, we would immediately want to vote it down. And I don't understand that space. We used to agree, stop Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. We all used to agree, never allow those things. Finally, holding Iran accountable is, that's a good thing. And I know that that's punishing as a Democrat to support that. Clearly, that's why I'm the only one. But, I'm also proud to stand with Israel. That also isolates me. And now watch the kinds of people that are running for the Senate as Democrats. They're becoming more and more anti-Israel. What I've discovered that you're not allowed to support Israel as a Democrat, but it's okay if you have a Nazi tattoo on your chest, as a Democrat running for the Senate.
Yeah, it's really shocking stuff. I want to ask you about this. You had Democratic strategist James Carville, who had some choice words about your opinions and your voting record recently. Listen to what he had to say.
John Fetterman, stay right where you are, because you've been wrong about every thing that you've ever said. And can I assure you that the fact that you think it's a good idea is not going to matter one whit to any Democrat.
Okay. What do you say, Senator?
Jim has been struggling for relevance for the last 30 years. Now, I'm proud to be on the right side of Epic Fury. I'm proud to be on the right side about standing with Israel. And for me, it's country over party. And he acknowledged that I'm blinded by TDS. So I'm the guy that actually represents Pennsylvania. I'm not an angry, weird guy online. I represent a state like Pennsylvania that keeps you honest. And I'm the only one right now in this cycle that flipped a seat now as well, too. So some people might listen to his advice, but I've actually done the kind of thing that really matters in the current time we are politically.
Well, and you also, I think, probably hear from your constituents regularly, as well as people all across the country who are grateful that you are doing the right things in all of these spaces. So, Senator John Fetterman.
So I want to know why should we vote Democrat? Lame, that's a good name. Lame. Why should we vote Democrat? Go on, lay it on me. Call 425-583-1155. Tell me the policies that you believe in and why you support Democrats. Again, we have to call it Democrats, Republicans, because that's the two major parties. But in reality is, what kind of American are you? Who do you prioritize first? Give me a call. There's the phone number on the screen. You should not vote for a party, sweet nuts. You should be voting for policies. So what are the policies that we have for Republicans right now, and what are the policies that we have for Democrats? And then that's how I know where you stand. All right, here we go. There's somebody here from Illinois, a very blue state. Here we go. Hey, thanks for calling. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Michael.
Michael, how are you, Michael?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Notice you're calling from a blue state. You are in support or against? And why?
Well, I had some questions from earlier that I've been watching your stream for a little bit now, and I just wanted to follow up on some comments you made earlier.
Sure.
So you brought up the notion of China letting their population starve after making comments regarding U.S. social programs, and I wanted to tie those together by seeing what your views on SNAP benefits were.
Oh, okay. Sure. Go. Shoot.
Okay, so
that's the question, or?
yeah. What are your views on SNAP benefits?
Well, well, first of all, I believe this is a capitalist country, and I believe in capitalism. I do, however, believe that some social services should be in place because, we do care about the disabled. Now, if you watch my show and you hear me say retards, that's not who I'm talking about, okay? Just so you know. But we do have disables, that can't go to work, honestly, can't go to work. We have a lot of veterans that have actually served, in battles, come back with PTSD and things like that. I think we should have some social services for that type of mental health assistance, trying to give back to some of the sacrifice that they've done for us. So I believe that we should have social services. I also believe that it's a good thing to have a welfare system. But what I disagree with the current government is that they discourage people to work full time. And I believe that you should be incentivized.
Really quick.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that was a lot. So for starters, there's a proof of employment you have to go through to receive SNAP benefits.
Correct.
So, but it seemed like you were kind of just pandering to veterans for a moment, saying we want benefits to be available for them, but I don't understand why SNAP.
Well, you asked a broad question. You asked a broad question,
Sure.
so that's why. So ask me a specific question then.
No, that was a specific question. Why
No, because
it sounds like
so not to cut you off, but when you ask me a broad question, go ahead. You go.
Okay, so here's a more accurate one then. Do you believe that just people in general should have SNAP benefits in our country? So I'm not talking about veterans. I'm not talking about the disabled. I'm talking about everybody.
No, that's not a yes or no question. Ask me better. Because you have to have requirements. There has to be requirements, not just the whole world gets it for free. Yeah. So ask me more specific. You're almost there. If you want a yes or no, you got to ask me an open-ended question.
Okay. Do you believe that it's a net positive for the general population to be able to access SNAP benefits under certain guidelines?
Yes.
Okay. It just strikes me as odd, given all the cuts and changes that they've made to social programs like SNAP and Medicaid.
But you know why? Or you just see the out general statement of cuts. There has been a lot of people that are able to work that have been committing fraud that should be working, and then we have a lot of illegals getting money, or that benefits.
You're saying illegals getting money. That is just factually untrue.
Well, what state are you in?
They cannot receive benefits.
Well, they're not supposed to, but what state are you in?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. In my state, they do have. Wait. No. Don't change the conversation. Stay with that. In my state, you just lied to me. You say it doesn't matter. It does matter. in my state, which is a blue state, they do get benefits. As a matter of fact, some illegals are in the city council. Some of them are actually serving in the government. I live in Washington State, my man. I know what's happening in my state.
Okay. So, all right. Well, first, I will come back to that, but first, I just want to let you know, according to...
No, you only get 5 minutes, brother. You're already at 4:37.
According to the government, there's less than 1% fraud rates in terms of SNAP. And then in terms of... hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, in terms of illegal aliens receiving benefits, that's just untrue. That's a common point that people bring up. It's untrue. How can you access benefits if you don't have a social security number?
How are they working without a social security number?
That's your rebuttal?
Yeah, that's it. Answer that question, and I'll answer your question.
Okay, because people can get paid under the table. I could give somebody cash to do
Oh,
something.
okay.
How do you get
Okay.
a SNAP benefit card to receive benefits when you don't have a social security number?
They have state assistance. That's what they get from us here. Now, here's a question. You go to the website. You go to the question. You go to the website, and then you fill out the questionnaire. If you're undocumented, you do get benefits from the state. But the better question is this. Even if they don't have health coverage, let's say you're right, who pays for the bill when they go to emergency care?
Okay, so again, so what do you suggest? If
No, don't ask me a question. I want you to answer that. Who pays the bill when they go to emergency care?
Yeah, we say the taxes, because we don't want people dying out in the streets.
Yeah, when they have a cold, they go to the emergency. Who pays that bill when they're not dying?
When they have a cold and they go to the emergency.
Yeah, because that's what they do. That's how they bypass not having health care.
All right, especially because I know you're a Christian, I think that's a ridiculous statement to make first and foremost.
Don't bring Christianity into this.
Why? You don't think Jesus would help somebody?
Well, Jesus is not the law of this country. What is the law in this country against illegal immigrations? Is it Jesus, the Bible? No. The law of the land.
Around your neck and you're gonna say
yes.
you wouldn't help somebody.
You know what? They come from a country where they should get help. You want to be righteous? You go to their country and help them over there. I will not break the law. How can I be a Christian that believes to be honest and break the law? I just can't break the law. You just can't do it.
All right, fine. I don't even care about that anymore because we've strayed away from undocumented immigrants receiving.
Well, you're not answering my question. You just keep changing the question. You're baffling around the issue.
My initial question because
and I said yes, they do. So your rebuttal is no, they don't. Okay. All right. Hey, man, thanks for your call. Do you have any other questions besides that? Because that's not going to change. They do get benefits.
Last question. Where are you running for governor for?
Washington State.
Okay, I guess you brought that up earlier. Okay.
It is a huge blue state, brother. You have no idea. I got like 10% chance maybe of winning.
Well, that might be overshooting a bit, but...
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'll tell you, I got a lot of good things for social services and stuff. They just cannot be waste or fraud. That's all. I believe on both.
According to government websites, it's very low rates, and there's a lot of positives for things like SNAP benefits.
Yeah, it's just a loophole.
Focus on that because you were talking.
It's a loophole like taxes.
In my mind, you're worried about like something like that, right? When you think about like the minimum wage in the U.S. is $7.50.
Yeah.
So we have people on SNAP benefits. Like, who do you know who the largest employer in the U.S. is?
But you missed the point of what I said about that. You didn't want me to talk about it. I said we need to. You said to skip the answer, but I was telling you that we encourage, with the welfare system, we encourage people to be practically jobless. The social services. Well, here, let me. Okay, listen. I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt. You sound very young. If I listen to me, if I try to get benefits, okay, if I go and apply for health care and food stamps, right, because that's the biggest help. Food, it can be expensive, etc. If I go and apply for that, I cannot make more than $28,000 a year, which is less of the livable wages that I can make in order to get those benefits. So they do give you benefits so that you depend on the government. What I'm trying to say is that I would do a different thing, and a different approach is if I want to have a social program that will help the Americans here in Washington. Number one, there will be no more sanctuary city. Deportations will happen huge if I become governor. But the other thing is that I want to encourage Americans and those who are here legally to work full time. And the average pay without raising the minimum wage, what you can do is lower in the bar so that people can qualify. For example, a poor household of four making $35,000 a year, they don't qualify for health care or free food because they're working full time and they're getting money. But if you raise the bar to, like, for example, $50,000 a year, one person, $75,000 if it's two people. If you put the bar there and you have two people working $15 an hour, that could be minimum wage, $15 an hour, because of their housing expenses, they will qualify for free health care and they will get free food. Depending on how many people, you get anywhere between $125 to $250 worth of food per person. I think that will encourage people to work full time instead of encouraging them to not want to go to work. Because if I go to work and I have to pay, no, you're not going to stop me. It's my show. It's my show. It is all the time that I can take. I will take. Either you have a choice to stay there, listen to it, or hang up. That's the only two choices you have. But this is my show, and I don't have a time limit. So that will encourage people to work full time. If I go and try to get these benefits, because of $250, I could not get free health care nor food stamps. That tells me if I'm going to get a job, I'm going to have to pay over $650 a month just to be able to get health care coverage. And then I'm going to have to spend $1,200 a month in food, because that's how much it takes for me to do. By the time that I go to work, I don't have enough money to pay my rent. So there you go. You cannot be going into a program that's going to make you be dependent on the government. Now you can go ahead and talk.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you went back to the point of like it de-incentivizing people to work. But again, you have to work full time to qualify for SNAP in the first place. So
not that. No. I'm saying that what I'm going to do is lower the bar, which means raising the income that you can have. It doesn't discard anybody working 20 hours or, part-time. That doesn't discard those people. It just makes it so that other people that are working full-time to also get those benefits. So it's not taking, it's adding more people to it. So maybe that's what you were misunderstanding? You thought I was taking people off? No, I'm just adding. No. I'm adding to it. All right. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it. If we can get the next caller, try to if you want an answer, guys. If you want a yes or no answer, you gotta ask me a specific question, because I think that in order for you to understand what I'm trying to say, is you gotta let me explain. So his question is like my answer to the question is. I agree. Yes, I believe that social services should be available. Welfare should be available. But I don't believe that it should only be available for disabled people or people that just can't work. The big, beautiful bill said that if you want to continue getting benefits, okay, the leftist Democrats, they made an argument to say that the big, beautiful bill is kicking 14 million Americans or 4 million or whatever the number was, right, off of the welfare system or whatnot. No, what President Trump says, anybody able people, which means they have to go and pre-qualify again. If you want those services, you got to reapply, and there's going to be an assessment being done. If you are able to work, you are not mandatory to work full time. Because most likely, if you work full-time, you will not qualify for the benefits, okay? So the big, beautiful bill says that you have to work at least 20 hours a week. That is a part-time. That is half of full-time. And I agree with it. You should pay taxes into it, and you can reap the full benefits of getting free health care. It's huge. It's a huge help. And then free food is huge. So what I'm saying is that what I would add different is to encourage people to get these benefits. We're going to raise the mark, right? We're going to lower the mark, but we're going to raise the income to qualify. For example, again, I was giving an example. If you make $35,000 a year, most likely you don't qualify for benefits, okay? If you're making $25 an hour, okay? If you're making $25 an hour, that is $50,000 a year. If you're making $50,000 a year, you're the only income in the house, and watch this. You can afford, let me take a look. So we have housing cost. Let me get a calculator out on my phone here real quick. Let's make some numbers, and this is just pertaining to Washington State, okay? Oh, thank you, baby. This is just pertaining to Washington State. Let me get my calculator. Okay, so family of 4, okay, 3-bedroom, husband, wife, 2 kids, 3-bedroom. It's about $2,400 a month, okay, on an apartment for low income. Okay, low income, $2,400 a month. Now, we multiply that by 12. That is $28,800 a month. Okay, so if you look at this, if your income in your house is $50,000, check this out. It's a win-win. I'm telling you right now. If the household income is $50,000 and you qualify for free medical, for free food, all you got to do is, check this out, you got $21,200 available out of 12 months, okay? So $2,100, no, $21,000. $21,000 divided by 12, just to kind of give you a rough average of what you're going to have. You got $1,750. If my math is incorrect, you can go ahead and put that on the chat. By all means, please. Okay? So $1,750 is what you will have every month to pay electricity, water, garbage, and sewer. And that's it. Gas for your car, a card note, car insurance, I don't know, buy some clothes for your kids. $1,750 to do that. You get free food, and then you get free medical help, and you can afford to pay rent while working full time. Again, $75,000 if both of the adults are working. So the second adult, if they want to work, they can work part-time, and then you can make $75,000, and you still get your, for Pete's sakes, that's a lot of freaking money. Like, this will make you almost middle class, so to speak. Like, seriously, you don't have to depend on the government, but you are encouraged to be able to work more. I think that's the right thing. That's the right thing to do. And of course, only for resident aliens and for American citizens. There is a waiting time for resident aliens from the time they become residents, but it's for citizens, 100%. Okay? I think that will not discourage people from being married, from having the nuclear family put together, and I think that will cause for affordability to be phenomenal for any state. And then on top of that, you cannot sustain taxing the dollar so many times. Like, for example, I'm going to give you this. How many times does your dollar get taxed? It is crazy how many times. But you get, as a matter of fact, here, we're going to go ahead and change gears a little bit, okay? That is my answer on social services when it comes to welfare and healthcare, okay? If you want universal healthcare, that is the best way that I can tell you to do it, okay? With that being said, let me go ahead and play this video here really quick. This is pertaining to Washington State only, okay? I want to make that disclaimer there. Let's take a listen.
And in today's episode, the wait is...
By the way, let me give her credit. This is the Center Square, and this is their video.
On to find out when Governor Ferguson is going to sign the income tax bill. He's given no indication that he won't, but today He is in Yakima signing several GOP-backed bills that did pass during the legislative session. No indication, again, that he was going to sign the income tax. It was not on his calendar of bills to be signed into law today. Could come up at any time. He could even sign over the weekend when he's kind of hoping there'll be less media attention. We're doing everything we can to stay on top of this. The Washington Center for Housing Studies, though, in the meantime, has come out with a report in conjunction with the Building Industry Association of Washington that suggests our state wouldn't need an income tax and could actually generate plenty of revenue for state coffers just by opening up the home building gates. The suggestion is that expanding housing supply can address the need for additional state revenue more effectively than new income-based taxation. And then simultaneously, of course, that would address what we have as a critical housing shortage in the state of Washington. So we're going to have some of that for you. And along those same lines, concerning the housing shortage, Senator Jeff Wilson of Longview, he finally got a bill through this year to allow kit home builds. He tells us this is one small but significant solution to address the housing crisis. These are like back in the Sears and Roebuck catalog days when you could order up a kit home and it shows up at your front door and you can build it over the weekend. A solution, possibly making the cost of housing more affordable for many first-time home buyers. So we'll see what he has to say about that. Then my colleague Tim Clauser of Spokane, that city there is projecting a potential multi-million-dollar deficit for 2027 and 2028, the biennium, threatening to follow recent severe budget shortfalls. And the question is, are more taxes the solution? Seems like that's always the solution of government. So Tim will share his thoughts on that. And then, again, we're still waiting to find out if Governor Ferguson is going to opt the state of Washington and Washington taxpayers into the new federal education income tax program. This allows a federal income tax break on returns of up to $1,700 that can then be directed into educational programs in the K through 12 system. 30 states apparently have opted in already. We have until the first of the year to decide. Washington has not yet opted in. So what's the holdup? We've reached out to the governor, and then we have some comments on this from Vicki Murray, who is the director of the Center for Education at Washington Policy Center. So no signing yet on the income tax as we dive in. A week since it arrived on the desk of Governor Bob Ferguson, the so-called millionaire's tax for just shy of 10% tax on income above $1 million or combined household income above that threshold. So this is pretty interesting. How about instead of implementing an income tax in Washington, we unleash Washington's housing productivity and let that be part of the revenue solution. And at the same time, of course, that would address the critical housing shortage that we have. That is the suggestion coming from the Building Industry Association of Washington and the Washington Center for Housing Studies. They ran the numbers and found that building 20,000 additional homes annually could generate about $600 million in state revenue. That's about a quarter of the projected first-year revenue from the proposed income tax. So it's not going to bring in all of the money from the income tax that's projected to come, depending on how many wealthy people pick up and leave and relocate their businesses elsewhere to avoid the tax. But this is, potentially a real piece of the solution if we can unleash that building capacity. So I spoke today with Jan Heimbaugh, Executive Director of External Affairs for the Building Industry Association of Washington.
I mean, I think everyone admits that we have a housing crisis, and that means, right, homes are too expensive. People can't access them, and there's not.
So this is just addressing the specific housing, owning a house. But when it comes to rental, SoCal, that's a good point. That is a good point. So what I'm saying is, like, even if you made $25, I don't know if I said it that way. So the minimum wage is $16. But even if you made $25 an hour, you're already way past qualifying for any health care or food stamps. So, we won't qualify. But, but if for somebody else that's making around that range, it would just be helpful. I mean, they're like, I wouldn't need my wife to work. My wife wouldn't have to work if that sort of social program was available. But that is not the intention of having welfare. The intention of welfare is to destroy the nuclear family, and it's also to destroy Americans' wealth, and to keep them dependable on the government. Because the moment that you're not dependable, depending on the government, is the moment that they own you. And you will always vote them in because of what they're giving you. Just sort of like they're doing down in California, right? They're paying the homeless money so they can register themselves to vote, and then they can use that to vote in elections. Whether they're Americans or not, it doesn't matter. They just collect everything, and once they have enough names and, fake addresses, then people can vote. It's that simple. And the whole idea about it is that I think that social services, yeah, it's a good thing. There is a lot of people that do need the help. But if we are going to be the most powerful, the richest country in the world, I don't see why we have to encourage poverty. Every politician runs to save the rich and the middle class, but nobody wants to give a crap about those who are on the poor lines of social class. So, it's, people can misunderstand. Like, at the end of the day, you cannot fight me on what I believe. I know what's fair. And if I find as a governor that something actually needs to be a certain way, I will probably change the requirements. Just like I believe for welfare, they should be changed. And so hopefully we can do something about that myself. And I think that it will encourage people, those who can, the body able ones, it will encourage them to not just go work a part-time job, but go work a full-time job, and you're still not going to get punished for it. You're still going to get the benefits of food and healthcare. I think those are the two things that are probably the most expensive in a household. Now, beyond that, it's going to be up to those people to be able to run a good budget. If they go out there and get luxurious and, like for example, like one of the things that I've noticed about people that are on food stamps, it's they go and buy the most expensive things out that they can. They don't measure how much food to get because they don't pay. They don't know what the prices are. They just use the EBT card and they have enough to buy. They don't care. So they will always vote for Democrats who are destroying our economy, and they won't feel it until there is no money for social programs. It is that simple. And when they go in the route of socialists like they have in New York, well, then you're going to end up begging for those rich people to come back to your state like they're doing right now in New York. We watched the video from Governor Hochul begging those rich people to come back to New York. But you know what? Now Florida has them. And Floridians, I'm sorry, but Floridians are about to get some expensive rents, and real estate's about to go up in value because of all these people coming in, buying property. Let's see, diapers, shut the hell up, bro. That's it. You go in a timeout. Your clown ass never says anything instructive in my channel, so go to the corner and think about what you did wrong. You want to act like a child, I'm going to treat you like one. Go to timeout. There you go. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and skip this video because this is their video. Let me see if I can find.
Belts. So right now, inflation on average rises about 3% annually. Last year, they ended up with sales tax growth year over year at about 0.7%. They had budgeted 2%. So that sales tax revenue is coming in far below inflation. So really, they're just not getting as much bang for their buck. And what does that do for the future? It likely means that they're going to end in another budget deficit ahead of next year that they'll have to solve going into the 2027 to 2028 biennium.
And of course, they're going to say we need to raise taxes again. They have already put a progressive tax that's going to work every single year. The tax will automatically go up. They have done this affordability or rent control bill that is forcing, apartment complexes, for example, or house owners who rent their houses. They're forcing them to not raise the rent and to still provide all the benefits of being a renter. Like meaning if there's any problem with the plumbing, electricity, the homeowner is responsible for those bills. And you have to remember that those bills will get higher because the increase on taxes is progressive. So every year it's going to go up. But they're freezing the rent amount, is forcing the owners to not make money, and it's forcing them to lose money. And it's a lose-lose situation, and people don't see all that stuff. I'm telling you, there's a lot of work, and I have commented on the Governor Ferguson's website quite a few times, and I told him I'm coming for him. I said, I'm coming for you, and I'm going to do tax cuts, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to be a fair governor, somebody who actually fights for the people and is not a politician, somebody who is not greedy about money, but actually wants to see people prosper and them to become financially stable and be happy. That is the greatest prize that I take with me in my heart, and I really believe in that, because what I want to hear, it's well done, good and faithful, from my Lord Jesus Christ in my last days when I leave this earth. And I really believe that. I cannot take wealth with me. I don't want to leave a burden for my children, but I do want to fix the system so that they don't get punished for having any sort of inheritance as well. How the hell do you have a death tax? How do you do that? How do you have a death tax? It's unbelievable. You work your butt off all of your life to leave something for your family. And when you die, they take that money away from your family. It is called an inheritance tax. If you buy luxury items like a yacht, anything luxury, there is a tax for that. So you can no longer be a yacht owner, a boat owner. You can no longer own that nice motorcycle, that nice car. You can no longer be an owner. You have to continually pay. And if you stop paying, they will take that from you, which brings me back to communism. It always comes back to the same damn thing. They put rules to the people instead of serving the people, instead of doing their job to create more economical, more stable economy. They just keep taking their money away and punish them for making sacrifices, for investing. Instead of rewarding them, they get taxed, they get punished. If you get married, you get punished. Like, what's the point of getting married now? They F you, double F you. They take your money. I'm telling you, I am telling you, you can disagree with Trump and you can dislike him. And I'm going to tell you something that I told my friend at the casino. I used to be a security guard there. And so I made friends with this guy. His name is Carlos. He's from Panama. And I'm telling you something. He's against Trump, so he doesn't support Trump. But I told him, I said, I'm going to run for governor here in Washington State. I want to hear that you have no more excuses. Here's my policies. Do you agree with those policies? Yeah, that'll be good for the state. Okay, I am not Trump. Yeah, you are. No, I'm not Trump. Tell me what you have on me. Do I get any bankruptcies? Any adultery crimes? Do I have any fornication? Do I have any? I don't have anything that you accuse President Trump of having, which, by the way, does not make him an evil man. Everybody makes mistakes. The people that think that they are wholly righteous, you guys are going to hell for judging unrighteously. You understand that? With that being said, I say you have no excuse. You have no excuse. And you know what? He agreed. I said, okay, then I want to see that you vote for me. I want to know. I'll hold you to it. I'll take your word that you're going to vote for me. So when I tell people that before you come into my chat hating President Donald Trump, take a look at the policies. If you're against the policies, I got you. Okay, I get it. But you don't. you are a blind, ignorant fool if you come judging Trump and don't care that your country is going to get destroyed just because you don't like the man. That is not the kind of American people that I want on my side, nor do I want to be around with. So there is that. All right. Yeah, of course, Trump is right. He is right about everything. You just don't like him. Period. You don't like him, but the policies are sound. Of course I sound like him. He sounds like me. I sound like all of the conservatives on my chat. I sound like all the Americans who believe on the same policies. You sound like the same losers on the left that have the same policies, the same thing. You guys want men and women's sports and locker rooms. You guys want mutilation of children. You want to be able to abort as many times as you want, regardless of the precious lives that you are sacrificing to Satan. You guys want all this corruption to be a normalcy. See, that's where we disagree, and just say that. Just say that and don't make Trump be the excuse for your blind ignorance. I haven't done what President Trump has done. And yet, the policies are the same that are in place right now. Why? Because it's America first. It's so simple. I don't understand what the issue is. You guys come in here and then you hate, hey babe, welcome back. And you hate Trump, but you really hate in the country because the policies are sound. You see the difference? Okay. All right. Woo! Man, you guys are tough, man. Tough crowd. A lot of blind fools that don't know where our country is going because they want to focus on hating a man. Let me see. No common sense. No common sense. Okay, this is bad news. I think he sees the writing on the wall. It sounds like J.D. Vance will not be running for president. So if that is true, that means that I guess Marco Rubio is going to be our president in 2028. I hope it's just a bad rumor. Yes, I support Israel 100%. 100. Babe, can you make my plate? It's okay. 100%, because I believe there are allies, there are friends, and we need to stick together in order to fight evil. And if we need to give them money, we will give them money. If we need their intel, if we need their help, they give us their help. You know, Israel is more than willing to fight wing to wing with the United States of America, and I appreciate that about Israel. I don't care how many people actually hate Israel. All I can tell you is that when I go to a battle, there is nobody else that I will appreciate more than having Israel next to me. And I would like to add the Ukraine for that as well. I would like to add the loyalty from South Korea. I would like to add the loyalty from Japan. I would like to add the loyalty from the 18 countries in Latin America who have joined forces against the cartels. I think that there is a lot of great things that are going to happen in our country. With that being said, let me go ahead and play this news here from Maria. What you got, Maria?
And we begin this Sunday morning with breaking news on the war on Iran, with President Trump demanding Iran end the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow night or face new disaster as Operation Epic Fury enters a fourth week. Even with most of Iran's top leadership killed and its military severely degraded, Iran has managed to intimidate oil tankers from moving through the strait with threatening drones, keeping traffic at a standstill and oil prices elevated. The president posted last night that Iran has 48 hours to end the blockade of the strait, or the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants. As the war escalates after Iran fired 2 long-range ballistic missiles at the Navy support facilities on the island of Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean on Friday, some 2,500 miles away from Iran. Now, neither missile hit the joint U.S.-British military base, but it still is raising concerns that Iran holds ballistic missiles with the potential to reach much of Europe. Meanwhile, the Pentagon finally putting a number on its supplemental defense package, requesting at least $200 billion from Congress to fund ongoing military operations against Iran, as President Trump received some support from allies to secure the Strait of Hormuz, with 20-plus nations signing a pledge to secure the critical waterway, where 20% of the world's oil and gas is supposed to be transported every day. But none of those nations have committed to combat operations or sending naval ships to the region to
And the leftists kept saying that, oh my God, how can Trump talk so bad about them and then ask for help? He is a jerk. That's why they don't want to help him. Well, now here they are. Now let me tell you something, that these people, all these countries that are signing up to come in, blah, 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 they're cowards. They're cowards. They want to join and do all these things once everything is taken care of. They don't want to fight against the regime in Iran. They just want to be able to secure their oil. Let's be clear. If you always hated President Trump because of oil reasons, that is the only reason why these people are willing to go and secure the Hormuz Strait. Let's be clear about that. But you see how everybody, at the end of the day, listens to President Trump, whether they like it or not. And this promise, remember the day, we are making a promise. If they don't stop, they have an ultimatum.
Escort tankers through the strait. The UK said it won't be drawn into a wider war, while Germany stated, quote, "This is not our war." That comment days before Iran's long-range missile traveled to Diego Garcia. The White House is doing everything it can, meanwhile, to reopen the waterway and lower the price of oil, which is now trading just around $100 a barrel, up some 50% since the conflict began 3 weeks ago. As Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told me exclusively on Thursday on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business, that the White House would lift sanctions on Iranian oil that is already out at sea, like they did with Russian oil, which is, in fact, exactly what he did this weekend. The U.S. allowing 140 million barrels of oil on tankers at sea to be sold to the global markets.
We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there. And there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next 10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign.
And joining me now is the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz. Ambassador, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Good to be with you, Maria. Thanks.
And I want to talk just about what Treasury Secretary Bessent said. This is not a new opening for Iran to sell oil. The maximum pressure campaign is still on. This is related just to those Iranian crude products that have already been loaded on vessels, correct?
No, that's absolutely right, Maria. President Trump's maximum pressure campaign that he put in place his first term, the Biden administration lifted, and he put it back in place within weeks of starting his second term, is absolutely still on. What Secretary Bessent is referring to are the barrels of oil that are already out at sea, are already going to go to Chinese markets. Now they can go to places like India, Bangladesh, or elsewhere. But here's the thing, and this is what the mainstream media keeps missing, is that the sanctions on the banks are also still in place. So we do not anticipate Iran sees any of that money. This is actually, as the secretary said, using their strategy against them. Their entire strategy, because they've been so defeated militarily, is to sow chaos, attack its neighbors, hold the world's energy supplies hostage, or at least attempt to. And this is yet one more step to defeat that strategy, on top of drill, baby, drill here at home, a waiver to the Jones Act, which allows ships to move between ports. We are going to defeat this strategy. It will be temporary on the part of Iran. And at the end of the day, the United States and our global coalition will prevail.
Well, Ambassador, they may have been defeated militarily, but the Iranians have still managed to cause pain for people by holding that choke point, the Strait of Hormuz, hostage. What is the president going to do in 48 hours, which would be Monday night, if they don't open up the strait?
Well, Maria, as the president announced, he will start by attacking and destroying one of Iran's largest power plants. There are gas-fired thermal power plants and other type of plants. And I want to be clear here before there's, kind of hand-wringing out in the international community. The IRGC, which we've declared a terrorist organization, along with many European countries, control much of Iran's economy, control its critical infrastructure, and continue to power what's left of its war effort through this control of its critical infrastructure. So the president is not messing around. He stands, unlike his predecessors, he stands by his red lines, and he's not going to allow this genocidal regime to hold the world's energy supplies or economies hostage.
Well, it's very concerning that Iran was able to strike and send these intermediate term missiles all the way to Diego Garcia. I know one of the missiles was destroyed en route, but the other one, even though it didn't hit the military operations there, is obviously telling the world that they have these long-time missiles enough to travel and hit much of Europe. How concerned should we be about that?
Well, it's incredibly significant, Maria, because Iran has been marching towards an ICBM. They've hidden some of that development under a so-called space program. I don't think anybody expects to see any Iranian astronauts on the moon, but that's what they've been hiding their booster production in contravention of sanctions behind for some years. They have developed a reentry capability with these intermediate range missiles, and all you have to do is marry up the two with a nuclear warhead. Thank God President Trump isn't waiting until that happens and then trying to respond to it. He's taking care of the issue now, and he has been clear for many, many years. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he's going to do everything in his power to stop it. And it's not just the president, Maria. As a UN ambassador, I've cited to the Security Council the 2 decades of Security Council resolutions that countries have voted for around the world to ensure Iran doesn't have a nuke. But President Trump isn't just going to send strongly worded letters. When it became clear they were not negotiating in good faith, after he gave diplomacy a chance on multiple occasions, he's taking decisive action.
How many,
before it's too late.
How many more?
Not so. James, thanks for the super. That's a big if we can sanction the oil. If we take action on Iran, and if the other countries involved agree to the above, if they are going to become involved. Lots of moving pieces. Well, none of those pieces will be moving if President Trump doesn't stay focused and stay on top of things. Regardless of the negativity from the left, I can tell you this. The left has been against us from the beginning. They said all these things about Venezuela. Venezuela is doing better today. Little by little, they're getting better as a country. We don't hear much about oppression anymore in Venezuela. Is there a lot of issues to tackle? Of course, but we will allow their democracy to be grown. And we're making deals with them. If you listen to that and you saw the map, they said that they had the capability for long-range missiles. Just imagine how much the Iranian regime will be devastating the Middle Eastern countries, because they want to expand, just like the Saudi prince said, right? He compared him to Hitler, which I don't know if that's a good comparison, but he said, but he wants to expand. What does that mean? He doesn't care about the territories of his brothers, of their brothers. They just want to take land and they want to be the biggest. That's just greed, the greed and greed for power. But I believe that if, just like he said, if Trump didn't take action right now, we are looking at how many targets this Ayatollah has been putting on around the Middle East and European countries. They are now seeing the fact, the proof that they had bad intentions against all of them. And I hope that they see it that way, because if they don't, they're going to be doomed, and we might have to get boots on the ground. Okay, so whatever happens, happens. Now I want to say, my wife just came back and brought me some chop suey with some pork, some fried chicken, some taro cooked in the oven, baked taro. And this is what they called oca. And it really is, it's just raw fish with tomatoes, cucumber, coconut milk, and some lemon and some other secret ingredients. And I'm going to enjoy all of it. So I will say, guys, thank you so much for your time with me today. I want to say thank you for the super chats. Happy rest of your Sunday. Tomorrow, Monday, we'll see how the news come out. You know, we're always hoping for the best for America, and sometimes people will go against us because they don't understand how we're seeing the world unfolding. It's not just about here. The fight is not just here with the Democrats. We have to take care of the things around the world so that we can be secure. Kristen Noam in Honduras, taking care of business. Guys, to all my members, Brian, Tanya, Robert was not here, right on 7. Everybody else that supports me, Dirty Money, thank you for coming here, being supportive. Everybody with the super chats, thank you so much for the super chats. I will see you guys on Monday. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the USA. Continue to pray for our troops.